welcome to the Spotcast. This is episode 6, and a very special episode because we're going to be doing the Spotcast Game of the Generation arguments or discussions, however they they tend to go. But before we get to that, I'd like to introduce my co-hosts. Kainitsu, how's it going, man?
It's going all right, dude. Just taking things one day at a time right now.
Yeah.
Hope you're doing well.
Yeah. No, I totally understand that. And of course, I'm joined by Zakeda as well. How's it going, man?
Hey, good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing?
We're good. Everyone sounds so tired. We doing okay? We doing all right?
I'm definitely tired.
Getting enough sleep?
I'm all right.
Getting enough sleep?
Actually, I'm gonna go grab a coffee out of the fridge in about 2 minutes, so I'm ready.
Yeah, I mean that's what this is for. That's what this is for.
I've had energy drinks today. It has been enough.
The caffeine content that I consume is just, I mean, there's no way it's healthy, right? There's no way. It would probably kill an elephant, but here I am. So, all right. Like I said, a little bit later, stick around. We're going to be doing the Spotcast Game of the Gen, the big attraction that you've heard so much about. We'll also be including our first ever community integration with that. So we're going to have you guys', we're going to have our top 10 list Game of the Gen, and then you guys are going to have yours. And, and so that's going to be a good time. But before we get into that, we're of course going to be talking about what we've been playing this week. And I'd like to start with you, Kai, since you have the biggest list of us. I have one game. Z has one game. You have 3 here. So tell me about Splitgate real quick.
Oh, dude. So Splitgate. Oh, so it is very close to my heart. Like the original one, I fell in love with once I actually found out about it and played it. If you never heard about it, it's basically Halo and Portal had a baby, and it's amazing. And Splitgate 2 feels like Halo 2 and Splitgate, and it has like some COD sprinkled out in there with some loadouts and perk systems, along with progression systems and skins and all of that. So it's been a lot of fun. The alpha was only for like 4 days, and I'm sad that I only got to play with one friend for like an hour.
Yeah,
because they rolled out a lot of new game types and stuff. They have a lot of multi-team stuff, which is pretty interesting. There's like a real big maps now with 8v8v8, which is pretty crazy.
Oh wow, that's like big team battle 4 times. Halo. So okay, so let me pause here. When you say Halo 2, right? That stirs something inside me. What about Halo 2? Do you get to dual wield? Do you get to, I mean, what are we doing here?
So it's not necessarily like you get to dual wield. It's just that the movement and how the weapons feel and how they play and everything, like it feels like Halo 2. So like they have rocket launchers. The rocket launcher is basically like the same rocket launcher from Halo and Halo 2. And then like for Halo 2, like you have a carbine, you have a battle rifle, got your assault rifle and everything, got pistols and stuff. Now the pistols are a bit different. They play a little bit more or a bit more original with those. I mean, they can't all be the best pistol ever, which was the Halo 1 pistol.
It's debatable. The Reach one was pretty fucking good. The Reach one was pretty good. I like the Reach one a lot.
Okay, yeah, sure, fair. But man, you could snipe.
That's true. I do forget. Like you could shoot that thing. That was a hit scan. Like
monster, dude.
300 meters. Like
right, dude. Oh man, memories. I'm so old. We used to have, when I was a kid, we had LAN parties.
Yeah.
we actually go to one location and hook up all our systems together. I'd make really people mad in Halo. Like like so like, who's using the fucking pistol to snipe? I'm like, that's me. If you're mad, be mad.
That's
dude.
me.
It's not my fault.
That's me.
That'd be me.
Yeah, so you were saying this alpha's over. When's the next time we can check this out? And also, is this going to be a free to play game or is it going to be
it's free to play like the first one.
Okay. Cuz I never played the first one cuz actual Halo came out when the first one came out.
It was a weird time it did, but it still blew up quite a bit because also happened during the dark times. It was like 2021 when it released. So
yeah.
But it it found a lot of popularity with it.
Nice.
So the next time that people get their hands on it, it's possibly gonna be there's gonna be supposed to be a beta next month. So it was interesting because this was an alpha, but it was a very late alpha test that they did.
Yeah.
Because apparently next month they're trying to milestone for a beta. So hopefully we'll get to see that soon. I'm really forward to it. Hopefully we can all play, but you had Wilds come out.
Yeah,
so
Monster Hunter murdered any chances of me touching this game at all.
But those will be chances, especially when it comes out. But yeah, I'm super excited about it. Then another things I've been playing, I had an itch to play Twilight Princess, so I decided to play that.
It's like having one of those itches you get from the motel room. Why is this here? What have I done?
It dawned on me that, you know what? I've only really played through that game once, and it's whenever I got it with my Wii.
I was about to say, that's the Wii one, right? I'm not the biggest Zelda guy, so that's the one with the... Okay.
Yeah, but it also came out on GameCube as well. I played the GameCube version because I didn't have an RF sensor or anything, and I don't have Bluetooth on my current system to hook up a Wiimote for emulation. So I just went with the GameCube one. But yeah, that game, man, it's not bad. It's just it's like the peak of the Zelda formula is getting kind of old at this point. You gotta go do your 3 things, and then now you gotta go do like 5 or 7 other things, and then you go to the end of the game. The one thing I did like
that
I do like about that game though is that it is a much darker theme to Zelda. Dude, that
okay.
If you haven't looked at Twilight Princess in a minute, dude, there's some pretty dark stuff in there, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm sad that we'll never get another Zelda like that, because Alan was like, I hated it, and now I want bright, colorful, fucking cell shaded shit because my wife likes it. So, which again, I like the Breath of the Wild designs. It's fine. This nice vibrant colors, but I wish they'd make another one like that, but they never will.
Yeah, my experience with Twilight Princess is I never had a Wii. Ex-girlfriend had a Wii, and she let me borrow it. And one of the games was Twilight Princess. I tried it for 5 minutes and said, I hate this. And then there was Mario Galaxy. I tried it for 5 minutes and said, I hate this. And I gave her Wii back.
Damn. Now,
so that's also the entirety of my experience with the Wii as well. So.
Wow. That was very short-lived. Now, with Twilight Princess, I can understand, because, dude, that's one reason why I've never wanted to try to go back and play it, is because that opening and intro is so long, and it's boring.
I hated it. I was like, let me go play my Xbox. So that's what I did.
Go shoot people in Halo.
I was going to go play Halo 3. Yeah, absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. All right, man, tell me about Dark Souls 2.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
For some reason, I decided to torture myself today playing some Dark Souls.
Come on, man. It's not that bad. Come on.
It is not good.
I beat it the one time, and it was fine. It was, it got us through the dark times until, Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne.
It can definitely tell it was made by a different team. It's just there's just so many things that are just like, God, come on, man. A lot of the controls and attacks are just take a long time. There's so much wind up compared to the other games. Taking a sip out of your goddamn Estus flask takes 5 years. Seriously. It's annoying because I don't want to keep on using life gems because you have to buy those and you only come across them for so often. And I want to use my souls to level up. So I want to use my Estus flask as much as I can. And it really it takes 3 seconds. It literally takes 3 seconds for you to go taking a drink. Oh, now I'm healed. And if you're anywhere close to an enemy and you're going to be going to die in one hit, you're going to die. You're just going to die.
Yeah, Dark Souls 2 is definitely the redhead stepchild of all the From Software Souls games. But like again, it was fine at the time, and people really knocked the level design. I actually kind of liked the world design because it reminded me of like I don't know, like Nightmare Before Christmas, like all the different trees that led off into the different, Halloween Town and Christmas Town and Thanksgiving
Right.
Town, all that shit. And that's kind of how that game was, and I kind of dug it a little bit. It wasn't nowhere near as good as Dark Souls 1 at all,
No.
but it was, it was fine. I didn't hate it. The boss design, like they had too many bosses. They had too many mini bosses. There's a lot of too many mini bosses.
Yeah, and the game with a lot of the bosses were the same kind of the like repeat, like, oh, it's a big hulking thing. Let me just strafe around you and hit you now.
Yeah.
As for like the level design, for most people, wasn't necessarily like the levels themselves. Some of them were like, this place doesn't look that great, but it was more so like the connectivity, like the interconnectivity of how they all connected. Some of that doesn't like make sense geographically compared to like Dark Souls 1. But
yeah, I don't get too hung up on geographically though, because
I don't
why
either.
did we
It's
put
just
this ladder here in the and if it's geographically, it's who built this ladder?
exactly
Like, but it's there, and I'm happy it's there because it
who
leads to this
made
fucking
these
campfire.
megalithic fucking bridges? Like they're
Yeah,
gigantic.
who built this
made
church?
these?
Who built this church, and why are these knights guarding the damn ramparts? Like, who put
Right?
knights here? Because they knew I would run up the fucking rampart to the little hole in the wall.
And why
So,
do they shoot spears at me?
as much as I love FromSoft design and as much as it's praised, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
No,
sometimes.
like logically, it
overall,
doesn't.
yeah.
But yeah, no. 2 is still very rough, and in Scholar of the First Sin, honestly, it feels even rougher because it just feels like they just kept on throwing more enemies at you. Like, oh, that makes it more difficult. When no, that just makes it more annoying. And on top of that, like the game's not made or it's not built to like take on a lot of enemies at once. There's like so many instances like I opened a door and now there's like 7 enemies pouring out at me, dude. Like
yeah.
No. Like and yes, in other Dark Souls and Soulsborne's games and Bloodborne and everything, there are times where hidden enemies come out and jump out and stuff. They get you.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like a really egregious into like I don't know. As much as I've hated playing it today, I'm still trying to power through it just because I guess because it's honestly also the least Dark Souls game I've ever played. 1 and 3,
I love
many
3.
times.
And
3's
1,
really
of
good.
course.
And 1 many times. Bloodborne, my most played Soulsborne game.
Yeah.
Played a lot of Elden Ring. Played a lot of Sekiro. Dark Souls 2, no. I played like 2.5 times.
Well, poor little Dark Souls 2. We think about you sometimes.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Z, do you want to tell us about your experiences in Baldur's Gate, the very probable frontrunner for the Spotcast game of the generation?
Well, yeah, I mean, I haven't really had much time to play anything other than like Marvel Rivals, and then this past Wednesday, I actually linked up with Spoopy and her little squad, and we started a BG3 campaign. It's the first time I actually played the game. I did not know the game didn't have crossplay, so that
Does
was
it not?
funny.
It does have crossplay. They added it.
I was told that it didn't, but so I bought it twice, but it's fine.
Oh, it does. They added it.
Okay, because I guess maybe originally it didn't have it because
no,
either way,
it did
I
not.
played it
They
on
added
PS5.
it in January. They added it.
Okay,
so
wow, they added almost a long time after. Yeah, that's really recent then. Yeah, so we played through the. I played it on the PS5, which the game is quite. This is very first impressions. I only got to play maybe 2 hours of the first part of the campaign, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very, very well. I mean, the first thing I actually noticed was it was like a stark, jarring contrast from like Diablo 4 in just terms of like UI and like everything. Animations of the so the game just looks so much better. It ran really well on my PS5. I don't have a Pro. I have the base PS5. And
it'll do 60.
I didn't notice any crazy performance hiccups or anything like
now,
that.
It will struggle in Act 3 on the base PS5. It will struggle. Act 3 is
I believe
it's the big city and it's got all the NPCs. Yeah, it's gonna struggle on that PS5. I hear the Pro sorts a lot of that out, and you get a full 64K on the Pro.
I'm getting a Pro, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, if you get it before you get to Act 3, you'll be okay.
My biggest gripe with this game, my biggest critique by far, is not even like the gameplay that I've experienced. Well, actually, I have some critiques of that, but the fact that I could not buy this game physically, or that Larian is the only way you could buy it through their store. They don't have like a distribution agreement, and like the PS5 version is always out of stock, and you can just never get your hands. I hate the false scarcity shit. I just think it's stupid. Square Enix did that stuff with Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I'm actually kind of glad that they just released the 7 Remake on the PS5 with a US SKU. And just destroyed all the scalpers. So that was a off-topic thing that I was really happy about, because Square Enix is guilty of that a lot too. But either way, the game was really, really fun in the time that I had with it. The only issue that I really had was the fact that I got lost in the UI. As someone who has never played a game with that many like true RPG options, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I was stuck in a pickpocketing mode for like a good 20 minutes trying to figure out how to cancel it out, and I was too afraid to tell everyone. And they're like, "Why are you crouching around like a fucking?"
That's hilarious.
Like
I'm playing as a rogue,
weasel.
guys.
Yeah. I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm trying to figure out how to take this shit off.
Yeah,
I couldn't figure it out. Eventually, I just like capitulated and like, okay, how do I get out of this pickpocketing mode? And like, oh, you got to go into like 3 sub menus, 4 options down to the left. Then you got to double click it. Then you got to press R2 and L1 like really fast. I'm like, oh, okay. But finally, I was able to get out of the stupid fucking mode. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's definitely a mouse and keyboard game.
The controller is a little rough.
Yeah, they do as good of a job as I think you could reasonably be expected to do to make that game into a controller-friendly game. It was the same thing as Divinity. So I think they do it about as good as you could hope for, but the UI is pretty cumbersome with the controller. And if you've never played before, you definitely need like patient co-op friends if co-op is the first way you're doing it, because you're going to need to sit there and study those menus. And
I was saying, like, just teach me, because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Because if you're playing with impatient people, it might be better for you to like
they were
play
very
by
patient
yourself for a while.
No shade to my my group, but they were definitely patient with me. I was too afraid to ask. Like,
no, don't be afraid to ask.
I was embarrassed. I was like,
because you're gonna be. Well, you're gonna be.
How was it so easy to get into this mode, but so impossible to get out?
You're gonna be
like a paradox for me.
You're gonna be really embarrassed when you wipe your whole team because you don't know what you're doing in a fight. So, because some of those boss fights,
the combat was a little tricky too. I pretty much burned to death multiple times.
Are you playing on classic, or what are y'all playing on? Difficulty wise,
I think it's classic. It's not.
I doubt they would start you on tactician, but
no,
I don't know if y'all did story or Some of those fights, even in classic,
like I said, it's not my save file, so
they get fucking hard. Like y'all are gonna
it was
be there
difficult.
for like an hour.
I'm gonna say this: in the combat, there was this asshole. So we were in we were going into this room, and there was like a couple other sub rooms, and there were like these assholes with like bows and arrows, and they would just keep poking out of the door. You know, they had enough movement to do that. Shoot, then go back in and hide behind the fucking door. And they kept doing it over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. And no matter what, I didn't have enough movement. No one else had enough movement
exactly
to fucking get these guys. And it was so annoying. But yeah, that was one thing that was kind of a pain in the ass.
Dude, on tactician mode, they make them even smarter. Like, that's the thing. They don't just have like more HP and stuff. They're a lot. They will do the most dickheaded. Like, they know who the weak one is. Then they will just go and take them out and then run away.
Yeah,
and you're
it's
like,
crazy.
Motherfucker.
I definitely felt like I had a target on my back for sure.
I love it though. I will say, once you get past level 5, the game gets significantly easier. Because you start unlocking.
I was getting some good rolls too.
You start unlocking the good shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm happy, man. I'm happy you're finally diving into one of the greatest games ever made. So
yeah, it was one thing I was gonna say too, but I don't know if it's like considered spoiler territory.
Yeah, please don't spoil one of the greatest games of all time for anyone. I mean,
it was like super early in the game, and I made like a choice that was like, you know, people are like, "Whoa," and I'm like, shit, should I have done that? Like, fuck,
right,
dude. That game plays out so many ways. Like, you could still spoil the game for me, and I've played it through 3 times.
Yeah,
because it goes so many different ways. It's hard to talk to people about because it's actually mind blowing how many. And we'll talk more about this when I go through my nominations. But it's mind blowing how many options there are in that game. So
I know
there are a lot of ways and scenarios that you can approach stuff, which is really nice. Same for even battles, man. Like, if you don't know this,
are crazy.
This is one of my friend's favorite thing to do in anything he does, but he loves destroying people in holes. If you have an edge,
you lose the loot though.
You win.
You lose the loot though.
You do lose the loot, but they go in a hole and they die. So they disappear.
That is true. It is a tactic to shove people off of cliffs, but you do lose the loot, unfortunately. So, and some of the best loot you get is off of bodies.
Yeah, but
that was the other thing. Just looting everything and anything.
Like one thing is, if you have someone strong enough, they could just say carry around barrels of like gunpowder and shit. Like, oh hey, you know what? I don't like this fucking guy over here. He's got some fire. Let's throw this at him.
Yeah.
Boom! Big old explosion.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was definitely fun. Like I said, that was just superficial first impressions, but I do.
Yeah.
The plan is to play it every week, every Wednesday, 2 to 3 hours. Some of these people have like 700 fucking hours in the game.
2 to 3 is like not even enough, man.
I was gonna say I'll be lucky if I can get to like 100 to 200 hours of this game.
A single playthrough can be 200 hours.
My first playthrough, I haven't even finished it. It's like 109 or like 92 hours or 100 and something hours. It's up there, man.
It's insane. Some of those fights can take 2 hours. There's one fight in particular I did, an optional boss fight. It took me about 2.5 hours to beat that fight.
Jeez.
And I'm not going to spoil it, which one it is, but it took a long time. It was on Tactician, and man,
it might be one I don't know. There was one that took me like that long, but it's just because like I kept on having to like trial and error myself with the strategy for that particular fight because it was a lot of dudes.
This one had
it was a lot of dudes.
Yeah, this one had a very particular song playing that is very memorable.
Oh, I know that song.
Yeah,
it's everyone's favorite song.
Dude, I was smiling like a fucking like child during that whole fight. Like I was like, this is so good. That's when I knew because it was. We'll get into it. Was there anything else you needed to say about this game?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, no, that's pretty much it. I'm definitely just excited to kind of just get into it more and kind of finally appreciate it. I mean, I've never been a detractor from BG3, but I've also never been like one of those like super fucking hardcore sims for it either. So I've always tried to take a middle ground approach to all these games. Obviously, because we see what the fuck happens in the industry. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, and on my end, I have been playing Monster Hunter Wilds, or as I like to call it, Drums. Oh man. Okay. Yeah. So I have kind of the same consensus that I had about Monster Hunter World. It's basically World 2. It's addictive as hell. It's really kind of shoddily put together in some ways. Like graphically, it's really ugly. Performance on my beast of a machine is fine. I'm able to get 60 with all the settings. I don't have any ray tracing turned on. But I mean, it's Monster Hunter. I mean, you go out, you hunt, you kill things, you wear its skin to go kill its mother, and you just repeat.
Wild. Hey, that's why it's Wilds, right?
The campaign, I'll say the campaign's better this time around, marginally, but that's a really low bar because in Monster Hunter, the campaign just gets in the way. I honestly think the game would be better if it just didn't have a campaign and they just let you get they give you maybe a loose narrative structure and then you just kind of go do the hunts. The campaign's one big extended tutorial really, but it is better. The characters are better. It made me laugh a few times, like in an intended way. Because there's just some funny, like with the cats and stuff. Like the cats are like a bigger character this time around. The little palicos. And yeah, it's Monster Hunter. I mean, if you liked World, you probably like this. There's a whole lot of like talk about it being dumbed down a lot, and I don't think that's they've just made it a little less annoying, I think, which to some people is the same thing. So but the movement's a little faster. You drink the potions a little faster. Okay. The dog thing you get to ride, the Ketsit or whatever the fuck it's called. Secret, something like that. I don't it's called something. Secret, is that what it's called?
Sacred.
Sacred. I've played for like 30 hours and I don't know what it's fucking called.
I just played the opening, so that's the reason why I know. I know what it's called.
Yeah, and and the story's really weird with that. They give it to you, then they take it away for a mission, and then give it back to you. Because they're like, those are sacred to us, give it back. And you're like, okay, well, do I get my own?
I just wrote it for like an hour, dude. Like,
and then they're like, then they just abandon that. They're like, oh, well, let's just take the sacred, it's fine. And you just get to keep it. It's really weird. All right. Yeah. Yeah, the story really just needs to get out of my way. But yeah, I've been enjoying it. It's one of those weird games where you know it's like a 7 out of 10, but you're playing it like it's a 10 out of 10.
But I mean, 7's still technically above average, but people don't really think that way. I mean, average when you go on a 10 scale is technically 5. But
yeah. The 7 would be good, yeah, technically.
7 is still good. That's above average. It's still a decent game. Like, I mean, in all honesty, like a B game is usually like a 7. So,
yeah.
But
it definitely feels like one of those.
I've seen more of like performance stuff about it than more of like mechanics of the game or like gameplay itself. Like, again, that's just basically Monster Hunter for the most part.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's been like performance issues and like texture problems. And again, they also are having it run on the Resident Evil engine, and that engine's not made for this type of game. It's made for like more contained, like structured levels with a high.
They should have just made Dino Crisis Remake. That's what they should have done instead.
Oh my!
They need to make a Dino Crisis remake. That's what
they should have made. Monster Hunter Wilds, but they should have also maybe done that, and maybe not done it in this way. The thing I'll say about Wilds 2 is like I did hear if you have a lower end machine, a PC especially. I hear the PS5 struggles too, but it's probably gonna struggle. You're gonna have to kick some shit down. I just have like a fucking $5,000 supercomputer, so I mean, they run. I mean, but even then, like when I uncap the frame rate, I'm getting like 80 frames a second, which with the way this game looks, I should be getting over 100.
Those textures are fucking ugly.
Yeah. So I mean, for my machine, 80 frames is pretty low for that, and so I cap it as 60. And I did see some dips below 60 here and there. So
yeah, I have a mid-tier machine, and I probably need to take it down from maybe even like 2K right now, because that's what it is native for me. And it's struggling with like frame drops and like pop-ins and stuff.
Are you struggling with frame drops in the first area?
Yeah, dude.
You're really dude. No, well, I asked that because you're about to really be struggling then, because the best performance I got, because that first area is just desert, and so it runs really well. And the moment it stops being desert,
I'm gonna hate life.
It's probably gonna cut in half. Whatever you're getting is probably about to cut in half.
Good thing
it was free.
Yeah,
you didn't
pay for it. I had to pay for it. I was actually going to say, like, well, good thing AMD's coming out with some new cards.
Yeah, they really need to optimize it. They really need to because
that's sad to hear too about Capcom, because like they've been really good with optimizing their games for PC.
Oh yeah.
And this one's just like it's just a struggle.
Yeah, I think it's just the engine they had to like mold into. It's like, why bother? World ran and looked fine. Yeah, unless you were on a PS4, but that's because it was the PS4, and the PS4 is garbage.
PS4 fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was just a bad move. It's like with EA saying like all our big games have to use the DICE engine when it's made that like
Frostbite.
You can't make or Frostbite engine.
Sure.
Yeah, like you can't make an RPG in this FPS engine, you have this like super realistic graphics. Like, that's a weird mandate. It's like that was like if Konami's like everybody has to use the Fox engine now for all their games. Although it might be a pretty versatile system, but I don't know. Again, Resident Evil engine was a poor choice. I'm glad that they made that engine. It looks really cool, but it was not made for this.
Yeah. No, it's disappointing, especially as long as they've had to work on it, and as much as these games sell, and and as much as they're bringing forward from World, like there's so much familiar. There's some stuff they haven't touched, in terms of weapons and animations and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a lot of tweaks. Now, I will say, as ugly as this game is, the monsters look phenomenal. The monsters look really good. The faces look really good, like the human faces. Not that you give a fuck, because you're covering them in fucking armor
and stuff.
Yeah, and you really don't care about the other characters either, but they look great. They do look great. So, but the whole game has kind of this weird. Again, it's like a Resident Evil like filter over it. Yeah, and so it kind of has that gray look to it, like the whole game does so far. And it's really just off-putting graphically.
I gotcha. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I mean, I can really still tell right now, like I'm in the desert, but I mean, it still kind of feels like there's a haze over everything in a way.
Yeah, that haze doesn't really go away.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Again, dude, it's a pretty ugly game to look at. It's not. Again, the monsters look really good, though. I will say that the monsters, they animate well. They have a nice little sheen to them. The fur, all that stuff looks fantastic. But it's very disappointing. They're lucky it's Monster Hunter, because if it wasn't Monster Hunter,
people would be complaining a lot more. Which I'm surprised people aren't. But again, it's Monster. People love Monster Hunter, dude. They love killing dinosaurs and making stuff from their bones.
Well, it's a very addictive loop that they've made, and they've made it really fun. Also, the multiplayer stuff is both simultaneously a lot better, but incredibly fucked. So if you're gonna get this game, well, if it's fucked from playing like the co-op, like the story together. In terms of hunts, it's exactly what it should be. It's what World should have been, because World was weird. Like you had to I don't remember exactly what all you had to do, but it was really weird the way the multiplayer worked.
It was a very, very odd system. You had to go to a message board. You had to go up that board. You had to go like, oh, I'm going to do this hunt, and then like have to have it open, and then like, okay, then you can have it so where people can join you, and they're like, okay, and then you shoot a flare. It was a very complicated process.
In this one they can just join you, and they can just
that's nice.
Yeah, and then you can make groups and clans, but the co-op is still fucked. So you can go through it, but you'll go through a cutscene. I only tried it with a rando one time, but and then it splits you off into your own shit. And in order to join up for that mission, you have to invite the other person. And so they have to leave what they're doing and join you, or vice versa. And then you still get credit for it, but it's a whole thing rather than just letting you go through it like any other. Any other?
What if that was like a technical condition they had to deal with?
I don't know, but it's that. I will warn you, if you are picking up the game and you're thinking, I'm gonna go through this co-op campaign together. It's not for that. You will be able to hunt together though, pretty easily.
Okay. I mean, that's usually what you want to do anyway, because like story stuff, fine, whatever. But let's go hunt together. That's the fun part.
Yep. All right. Well, I mean, that's all I've really got on Monster Hunter, I think, for now. I'm going to put some more time into it. I'm probably about halfway through the campaign, which means I'll probably finish that up this weekend, and then I'll be kind of in the post game, like where the real Monster Hunter begins.
The end game.
We're gonna play that end game. We're gonna play that a bit and see what it do, and then I'll talk about that a little bit more. So,
all right.
But yeah, so if that's it, I think that's all we've been playing. We'll move on to our news segment, where we go through all of the news that has happened since our last episode. And there's a lot of it.
Yeah, we can't get through everything. We're going to try to get through.
Yeah, we're going to get through. Yeah, we got about 30 minutes roughly before we get into the topic at hand. And speaking of which, If you're in the chat, go ahead and we're gonna have a poll kind of later in the show where we've tallied up all of your nominations from the Discord and Twitter, and we're gonna have a poll. But the fourth option, there's gonna be 3 options. The fourth option is gonna be pulled from the Twitch chat. So get in any nominations that you think should be the winner of the community game of the generation. So the rules are, it's got to basically be like the PS5 generation up. So that's roughly 2021 forward. So, and it can be an ongoing game. Right now, I'll tell you, the current leader is Fortnite.
Yeah,
and it's a technicality because it's still a modern game. It's still updated. So it can be anything that was updated. It can be anything that had a, kind of a remaster, something like that. But it has to have basically either existed, been updated, or created on 2021 or to now. So
yeah.
But yeah, just throw them up. We'll kind of keep an eye on them, and and then we'll throw a poll up and we'll get your votes, and we'll see what the community one is.
Yep.
Yeah, the current options. I can go and tell you what the current community options are. It's Fortnite, Marvel Rivals, and Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3, everyone. I want to repeat that for a third time. Baldur's Gate 3.
So we're trying to get a fourth option in there for you.
Yeah, we're trying to get a fourth option. So just nominate anything outside of that. If you think that it should belong on that list, game of the generation, and we'll get that voted in.
Yeah.
So, all right. So on to the news. Like I said, there's a lot here. See how much of it we can get through. You've been wanting to talk about this for a hot minute, so I'm about to just pop it off as the first topic and let you just run with it. NVIDIA is on fire, but not in a good way. It is not in a good way. So take it away, Kai. Take it away.
Yeah, no, I am angry. I am angry at NVIDIA.
I am angry.
That's the perfect statement without going too vulgar, which, let's face it, I will get that in there at some point. But
I mean, it's 18 plus, so go for it.
Yeah. So I mean, these motherfuckers are just straight up lying to everybody, and it needs to stop. And I'm tired of it. They want to go and say this whole 5070 bullshit. Oh man, you're gonna get 4080 performance. It's not even really getting that close to it. Like the TI, sure. The 5070, fuck no. not even close. And it's sad because it should be doing better or as good as that 4080 as they claim, but it's not. Like their cards are literally catching on fire. There have been times where they have the ROPs in within the card, the structure of it weren't there and present in the card to keep it structurally sound.
That's hilarious. Unless you spent $1,000, and that's not hilarious.
It's not funny. Yeah. So they're just fucking up, and again, they're just lying and just running away with your money at this point, and it's the grossest thing I've seen from a company in a while. And people really need to vote with their wallets and show NVIDIA that we're not going to put up with this shit. We do not need to spend lots of our hard-earned money for something you're lying about for a shitty product that you want premium price for, and then they catch on fucking fire. So no.
What's that Hunger Games salute?
I don't know. I'm not. I've never really actually seen or read the Hunger Game books, but yeah. So I've been really excited about the news this week from AMD and seeing the 9070 or RX. Or it's really stupid. I hate the numbering and not aiming of everything. So it's the RX 9070 and the RX 9070 XT. XT is the higher. It's like the TI version, and then the 97 is like the base. So they both come with like 16 gigabytes of VRAM. I wish it was a little bit more, but 16 is a nice minimum number. I think that'll get you through most things when it comes to like most modern PC gaming now.
Yeah.
And the 9070 and the 97 XT had some really good benchmarks. There are times where the 9070 is getting close to 4080 performance. and beating the 5070. It beats the 5070 on most everything. There are instances where the 5070 came out more on top above the 9070. And of course, the 5070 Ti actually is a little bit above the 9070 card, but in percentage wise, it's actually not that much, which is sad because these are supposed to be AMD's like mid cards, but they're competing with the last generation's almost top tier card. So
yeah, what's the price difference?
Big. Big.
Okay.
9070 base, $550. Okay. XT, $600.
Okay, not too bad.
Yeah,
a little pricey, but
that's the most I'd want to pay for a graphics card, in my opinion.
Stop.
For me personally, that's as much as I'd want to pay. Oh, cats!
I know he's dude. I think I just subscribed to a bunch of like
virus
newsletters. Yeah, I think we need to hurry. My PC is not long for this world.
There goes your $5,000, brother. But yeah, no, AMD's actually looking a lot better this time around. Apparently, their
that is zero Tay.
Their FSR upscaling 4 is actually doing much better this time around. They still struggle a bit more with ray tracing. Like that's where NVIDIA is like really kind of winning, but no one really wins with ray tracing because it just hits performance. So, unless you have like a really, really high end machine, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, AMD's looking much stronger this generation for cards. I hope people notice, and I think they did because they went on sale today and they're sold out. Like you can't find the 9070s right now.
Okay, well, that was the NVIDIA on Fire hour. Thank you, Kai. You're welcome. Did not disappoint.
More rants.
I have nothing to say that hasn't already been said before by Kai just now. So it seems like a shitty situation. Mm-hmm. Hopefully NVIDIA learns its lesson.
I don't think they will.
They probably won't because people will buy them. You know.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part.
That's
vote with your wallets, people.
Yeah. So next up we have the Gears collection is coming out this year allegedly and will be launching on PlayStation 5.
That's weird.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's not much to say. It's another in the long list of Xbox games, but that's a big one. I mean, Gears and Halo.
Those are like
those are those are the staples. I mean, if you're like an Xbox fanboy who just lives, eats, and breathes and dies Xbox, you know, they bleed green. You're probably in your room crying right now. You're like, no,
right?
Phoenix,
Marcus, no, you betrayed me.
Yeah, because if you look on all the little spats that happen on Twitter and all this other stuff, the thing they always say is, well, you don't have Master Chief or Gears of War. You don't have that. You're never going to have that, loser. And
what do you got to say about that now?
Yeah, I don't know. It's homie. The writing's been on the wall for a while now.
Yeah, I mean, we all know there's going to be slowly transitioning. They're not going to they're not pulling a Sega, but they're going to slowly transition to publisher only, more likely.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to get used to it.
Yeah.
But that's cool. I actually didn't know that Gears box or collection was announced until
it's not announced. It's a rumor. It's like one of those it's gonna be. So Microsoft has their little spring summer thing.
Yeah.
The rumor is that it's going to be announced there and it's going to be day and date on PS5 when it's launched.
Okay.
So it's not going to be a like a timed thing.
That actually might be. I don't know who the leak came from. It might be reliable because
it's the same guy. It's the same guy who announced the Forza coming over, and that happened as well. So.
Gotcha. Well, what I was going to say is that there was a rumor about, I know this is a little bit off topic, but it's kind of related, about Tony Hawk 3 and 4 being announced during that time for that showcase for Xbox, but it actually already got announced for Tony Hawk 3 and 4 on Twitter, which I'm pretty excited about. I liked 1 and 2 a lot.
Yeah, I liked Underground the most. That's the one I played a lot as a kid.
That's like the second best Tony Hawk game.
Yeah. What's the first best? The second
Tony
one?
Hawk 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tony Hawk 2.
Well, like Thug 2. Okay. No, but
Tony Hawk 2. Tony Hawk 2. Pro Skater 2.
Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, those are fun. I I didn't really play any of the other ones all that. I played them, but just very passingly.
Yeah,
maybe I
same.
rented them, or maybe my friend had them. But I played the hell out of Underground. I played the
me
living
too.
hell out of Underground. I
That
made
was
my
a
own
fun
little
one.
skater guy, my own little goth dreadlock having skater kid. And
Making
I was
your
like, that's
graphics your
me.
board.
Yes. And got my sponsors and went through all that good stuff. So
yeah.
All right. So I look forward to Gears on PlayStation 5. The other probably biggest news we have here too is WB closes a bunch of studios.
Yeah.
They canceled Wonder Woman.
And the studio.
Yeah. Well, that's the biggest one, or the biggest shocker was Monolith.
Yeah.
They of course, to anyone who didn't know, they made the Shadow of Mordor games. They also made Fear. I loved Fear. Like Fear was awesome back in the day.
Fear's a really cool game.
Yeah.
Monolith Production's been around for a long time, dude. Like
they made
they made Blood, they made Fear, they made Alien vs Predator 2.
Did they make Condemned? Was that them?
I don't think so.
Yeah, dude, look that up real quick. Yeah, who made Condemned? I know it was a Sega published game, but
yeah, I don't think it was.
Who made Condemned?
Condemned game.
While you're looking that up,
3 of those, I think.
There's 2 Condemned games.
Criminal Origins is the one.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, no.
I thought they did, because the thing about Condemned was its AI was really good, and they brought that into Fear. Because if you remember, Fear still has some of the best AI that I've ever seen.
Good stuff.
It still outdoes most games today, which is insane.
Yeah.
Like, you would throw grenades, and the motherfucker would be like, "Grenade to the right," and they would dive bomb through the window and then flank you. Like, it was impressive.
And that game also did some of the best bullet time ever. The bullet time was so good in that game,
and had a nice like creepy horror aesthetic. And I mean, they got worse. Like Fear 2 was good, but then 3 you kind of lost the plot, and
3's not good at all.
Yeah.
2 just, it's like, it's a sequel, so it's not that bad.
It was fine. Yeah. And then of course Shadow of Mordor was just so good. I love it. I never played War. I actually never played War as much as Mordor.
I played a bit of it. I kind of got bored with it, honestly, because it just felt like the first game to me. But I mean, the Nemesis system is really cool. And that's the weirdest thing. WB went out of their way to fucking patent that fucking Nemesis system. They closed down the studio that made it.
Yeah.
God, I'm so tired of fucking CEOs, dude.
And so they're sitting on a patent for a game system that will never be used for anything.
Used anywhere, anything. It was supposed to be used in the Wonder Woman game. They didn't want to make that game.
Yeah, but I was so excited when I played that Nemesis system. I thought to myself, imagine this in like Elder Scrolls or like any other game. Yeah. But then they patented it, and that was it. You'll never see it. And then it's done.
And let's let that patent go. Which, since they killed the studio that made it, maybe they'll do that. But it's Microsoft, so probably.
I'll tell you, if I was Sony, I'd be knocking on the door, like, let's buy the patent to that, because Sony makes games that like Ghost of Tsushima with the Nemesis system.
That'd be pretty cool.
Forget about it, like, because they make those open worldy stealth, like that's their shit. And so imagine that. Even Spider-Man, you could put that in Spider-Man. Like any game that they make the perfect games for that system.
It'd actually be really cool, like just for the Spider-Man concept. They'd be really cool just for the sheer fact that you take on like just random ass thugs throughout the game most of the time. And if you have like thugs come back like, I got out of here, Spider-Man, fuck you.
Coming back, I remember when you broke my leg and put me into a coma for 3 days because you threw me off a building.
Well, I'm back, buddy. I'm stronger now.
But he doesn't actually remember much because you smashed his head into a wall. And
I only remember about 3 months ago.
It'd be pretty funny to see that in a Batman game. Because it would be funny to like point out that Batman does actually like just murder people.
Breaks people's
and like he may not murder them, but he makes them fucking vegetables.
He makes them paralyzed and comatose.
It'd actually be pretty funny if it was like a parody, like the Nemesis system in that game, like, but you could just like go to the hospital and see them, like the terrible things that Batman does to them.
It's really funny. It's like, I've never seen what I've done to people, but I'm still gonna do it anyway because I am the knight.
What do you mean I broke his spine in half and he'll never walk again?
What do you mean his spine is broken? I could do the Christian Bale.
Okay.
But yeah, but on top of all of this, what they're closing these studios like Monolith and everything, they're also like as a whole, Warner Brothers is like $4 billion in debt.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. They're doing real bad because they're fucking up in their gaming industry and they can't make movies. So
yeah, on a little side tangent, it just baffles me how they have fucked up the DC movies. The only redeeming movie they've done is The Batman with Robert Pattinson. That movie is phenomenal. It is fantastic. I highly recommend you go watch it. Anyone who hasn't. I'm a massive Batman snob. Not just a fan, I'm a snob. And I went into that movie expecting to hate
Batman
it.
Fan.
And when it got to the end, I looked at my friend who I watched it with, and I was like, did we just watch the best Batman movie like ever made? And we did, because it's fantastic. Yeah.
All right.
You could say it's the Batman movie of the gen. So,
well, unfortunately, it didn't save them apparently because they in debt.
they be owing money. They be owing money. Speaking of people who don't owe money, Monster Hunter has sold 8 million copies in 3 days.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
The first 3 days it being out, 8 million copies.
Yeah.
Was that a cicada in there? Was that him?
Yeah,
sneaking in there?
Huge numbers.
Oh god, that was Trump cicada.
Oh
no.
Like,
oh god. Anyway,
we try to hide that on everything, but it always pops up in every episode.
He can't help it.
Everybody does it.
He can't help
and
it.
we all do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, that is insane.
That they crazy
that
numbers.
Like, I mean, it is Capcom and it is a very popular IP, but that's just to show like how much Monster Hunter has actually grown as a franchise. Because it used to be more of a niche game. Like, I only knew like a handful of people that played Monster Hunter.
Well, it was stranded on the DS for a long time.
True. But they had some console releases during all that, and then once World came out, I feel like that really like made it more mainstream for people. And that's why it sold 8 million copies in 3 days. Because World really brought it to everybody. Again, that was actually really my first Monster Hunter game, to be honest. So
yeah, me too. World was my first too. I tried it. I tried one of the DS ones back in the day, and I was like,
I couldn't do it.
You couldn't. It only had the one stick. So and you like controlled with the bump. It was horrible. I was like, who the fuck plays this? This is dog shit. And a lot of people did. A lot of people did. I liken it to like the people who play Fortnite on phone screens.
Oh god. I don't know how people play games like that, dude. I can't.
Bro, I have a nephew, and that nephew does that, and I just sit there and watch him. I'm like, how? I mean, bro, at least hook a controller to that bitch. But he's good.
Right?
He's good. He can play on a team like with me on the PC, and he'll keep up.
Damn.
He won't necessarily do better than me, really, but he'll keep up.
Hell yeah.
And he'll hit kills. So it's wild. People do it. So I guess we got time for one more, perhaps. Let's talk about this Microsoft Muse thing real quick. Yeah, the little AI. What are they calling it?
It's gonna be their AI game generative tool.
Yeah, there you go.
It is a very interesting project. They actually had apparently worked with Ninja Theory, people that made DMC and Hellblade. Hellblade's probably the best, the better one for people to know about. But they worked with them for 7 years, and they trained this AI with another game of them that they were actually in the developing at the time, which is kind of cool. Like, so while they're actually developing, it was Bleeding Edge. I never heard of that game until recently.
Me either.
Apparently, it's not that great. So, but they use that as the template and teaching of Muse. Now, you can actually go and find coding for by Muse making something of Bleeding Edge, and you can get like a 2-second video that is in 300 by 180 resolution. It looks like a big bunch of pixels. And it also takes like a shit ton of power, especially like GPU power, to try to make that like initiate anything. Because like when they were training this AI, they were using like these crazy cards I've never heard of from NVIDIA, like the A6000 and stuff like that. And these are like $25,000 cards.
Yeah, they've got like 96 gigs of VRAM and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, like they're insane. And but they used 3 different ones. There was one that was like $2,300 or $23,000, one that was like $25,000, and the one that was like closer to 30. I think, or maybe it was actually like, I think there were 2 that were closer to 25, but that's insane. It's kind of cool that they did that, but it's not going to do anything. It's only going to be able to make what it's learned. So it can't go and it's not real AI. It just can't go and spontaneously make something. It has to make something that it has learned. So I can see it being like maybe a tool to assist people in the development of a game, but like I just don't like this at all. Like AI can go fuck off. I'm so tired of AI, dude.
Yeah. I don't know. It's within the stable that it's currently in, the specific thing, I don't have an issue with it, but I know that it's gonna bleed into other things, right? Like I mean, I've seen some of the video footage of it, and it definitely looks very rough, right? Like it's in a very rough spot. Like it's cool for what it's doing because you can just kind of type in like, what if you made this game and it felt like Halo, but it was in the Shadow of Mordor and blah, blah, blah. And then like it creates this like almost like stop motion animation thing where you can like play it and it's real blurry looking and stuff. But like it'll get better, of course, and stuff like that. But it's like, do we want it to?
I don't want AI to make video games. I don't want it to even be a tool, to be honest.
I have a buddy and he's very
I got hot takes
AI.
on this shit. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you do.
I have a buddy, he's very, and we've really argued over it in the past. But like I think AI has its place, but to me, the way I engage with something creative is it's almost like it's like a connection to the person that created it, right? And you can, and there's like a cleverness and like a emotional intelligence that something is created with the AI just can't do. At least not for probably like 20 more fucking years. And then, who knows, but probably not. And then the other thing is the way AI is trained is just complete bullshit. Like if you can say the argument all you want, like inspired by things, but again, there's like an emotional intelligence to that. AI literally takes the thing, shreds it through a paper shredder, combines it, and then you repurposes it to, be something else.
No different than the neurons in your brain.
And well, again, that's the argument, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, and I'll say this. When I watch a Marvel movie, those are created by people, but they feel like they were created by AI, so that's something.
that's actually a very good argument.
There is trash, but I consider those trash. So, there's nothing I've seen created by AI that's something I would like pay money for. Maybe something small like a profile picture or something like that, but in terms of like movie, book, video game, stuff like that. Like it's just not there yet. It may be one day.
It's super
I don't know that I don't know that I want it to be there one day because again, it's like
it doesn't matter. It's happening.
Because like well, not necessarily. I mean, not all technology is like
just comply, human.
Not all technology
no. I'm just saying limitless. It because the investment's already happened. We're just seeing a lag. So the investment in AI is already there. So what we're just in 5-6 months from now, we're gonna see crazy explosions and shit.
There's
in terms of what AI tools are gonna be out there.
I mean, maybe, right? I mean, possibly, but I mean, there's been a lot of stuff that.
I'm using
things come in, things come and go.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but AI as big as it is right now, and like just thinking it on as a grander scale, like Kata's saying, like it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And again,
the Pandora's box is open. There's
already
GG's.
Doesn't mean I have to like it or that it's good.
No, and then you'll be one of those little artesian guys that has a little niche somewhere on your corner of the internet.
Well, there's no need to be disrespectful, homie. Like, or you'll be one of like the creatively bankrupt lazy people who type things into a computer and let it do them for them. Right? You can spin that both ways.
People said this. Right? See, I'm old enough to just remember when Photoshop came out, and people say the same shit. And it's just like every time a disruptive technology comes out, people gatekeep and they clutch their pearls about it, and they say, "Oh, this is gonna be horrible," and it's just another fucking tool that people use to be creative. And it's going to make tons of great shit in the future. It's all in how people use it. It's not the technology itself that's a bad thing. So,
well, yeah, and people are dog decade. Shit, and will use it in shitty ways because people are the worst, right?
Yeah, and Photoshop as a synonym, as a term in our lexicon is literally because people were shitty with Photoshop and did shitty things. So it's the same shit, man. Different.
I would say Photoshop is inherently different from the implication. Photoshop is not writing books. Photoshop is not attempting to create music. Photoshop.
Where's an AI book? There's no AI books that people.
They're flooding it. What are you talking about? Amazon
no one's buying
publishing
them. They're
is
garbage.
Flooded.
No one's buying AI
flooded
books.
with
Do you know
but they're
one
drowning
person who
out
bought an AI book?
They are flooding. It's like this. It's like the fucking mobile marketplace now, where it's like the good shit is being drowned out by the garbage and trash. Like. It's like, people may not be buying them. People might be buying them accidentally. But
to the bottom, dude.
I mean, I hope. But then what's the point, right? But then what's the point?
The point is that there's a tool that's oversaturating things right now. People are trying to, make money in not so good ways, and that shit just always happens every time a new technology comes out. Crypto is the same shit, although crypto is a whole other issue.
Yeah, but just because it's happening doesn't mean you can't point it out and bitch about it and say that it's
and
bad.
I'm not saying
it is an inherently bad thing. It's an inherently negative thing that the. Do you think it's an inherently positive thing that the Amazon store is being flooded with AI shit books?
I don't give a fuck about the Amazon store.
I do. I'm writing a book. It affects me. It doesn't affect you. I'm literally writing a novel. So, and lots of people make their money that way.
I'm just putting myself in a situation that I'd never be. I would just basically say that I would think that my book would do way better than all the garbage AI stuff.
It might.
I don't know what you're saying is true. You're saying something in the affirmative that there's all this crap out there. I don't really know if that's true or not. But
it is true. You can look it up. Or
I'm sure you can. I'm just saying. I'm taking your word for it. I'm not even arguing the fact that it may not be true. I'm just saying I don't know for a fact that it's true.
Store could get so fucking flooded that no one wants to fucking use it because of the dumpster fire now.
People are gonna use Amazon.
I don't know. Easy. I mean, Steam's kind of a dumpster fire for games, and people still use it.
That too. There you go. Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, I hope.
A lot of these storefronts kind of suck anyway. Amazon's always been a fucking cluttered mess as far as I'm concerned. I don't think Amazon's ever had a good UI. I don't understand Amazon, and I've been using it for 20 plus years.
So let's just make it worse. Okay, whatever.
Well, I don't think that's inherently an Amazon or an AI
garbage.
Problem. People are using AI to make
garbage.
But people shouldn't be buying garbage. So if people aren't buying garbage,
that's the problem. People buy shit that doesn't exist yet.
Well, it's about it's like right now, but it's about
fake AI books.
But it's about
man. Who knows? I mean,
I don't know.
But I am excited to see AI in video games. I am excited to see, or the prospect of characters in video games actually being or thinking they're real, and creating new experiences based on that. I do think that's really cool. I think that's really where video games need to go, into real photorealistic, simulations where it actually is almost like you're in the world itself. How much more immersive other than VR can you get with video games?
I think one video game needs to do that. Like, why would you want every video game to do that? Well, I don't want Baldur's Gate 4
GTA will
to
benefit
that.
from that.
I want Baldur's Gate to be my pointy.
I
want Baldur's Gate to be my point clicky, dice rolly. Like, I don't want. It's like Dark Souls is awesome, but I don't want every game to be Dark Souls. I have room for one immersive, a game like that. There's room for one of those.
Yeah, I'm not saying AI has to be in every single game, but I am excited for where it will be applied. That's what I'm saying. I do agree that it shouldn't be in every single game, and not every game is going to necessarily have a need for it. And not only that, a lot of next gen AAA games, they just take too long to make nowadays. AI is going to have to be somehow incorporated to reduce the amount of development time that's out there.
Well, a lot of that though, with
we'll be 50-something years old when GTA 7 comes out.
And like the bloated budgets and stuff, that's a whole other problem, and it does take a long time for these games to be made. But that's just because the teams are too big, and there's too many people in their hands and stuff like that. That's a whole.
Now they're all getting fired.
Yeah,
there is a massive shift in the industry happening for sure, and I think that's where you guys are kind of really, that you're getting to really kind of the root of what's going on in the industry right now. I feel like.
Well, yeah, and I mean, there's accepting it, and then there's saying that you don't like it too, right? Like, it's like, I accept people are dog shit, and I accept people are going to go with the cheapest, easiest option, regardless of like how creatively bankrupt it is. But like, doesn't mean I have to like it.
AI is not a cheap option. Though.
It's a race to the bottom.
There's low effort. There's low effort.
It is cheap. It is cheap. It's low effort.
It's not. Cheap, but like, it's not
cheaper than paying people.
The better it gets, the cheaper it'll be, right? I mean, that's just the thing. I mean, whenever
and then there's DeepSeek,
yes,
which I mean that kind of like that fell out of the news, but I mean it's still
why,
and they've proven that it's I know why. I know why. But DeepSeek has been proven to be extremely efficient. When it comes, it takes way less power. And it actually does really well with its neural learning and everything. So it could be done, and it could be a lot cheaper. It just depends on the route you're going and how you're trying to build that model. And again, also DeepSeek's fucking open source. So,
yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So
baby.
That alone, already being a tool available, changes everything.
Game changer, absolutely. Agreed. I didn't know you were that deep. I didn't know you were that deep in the lore there, Kai. Holy shit! Yeah, that dude, everything you said is 100% true.
Man.
Oh yeah, I've read. I've read up on it too. I mean, I'm not like just sitting over.
It's actually why I bought a couple of Mac Minis specifically to run a.
I just like. I think a lot of it's cool. And I do think that like there's some interesting applications for it. I just think people are the worst. And they're always going to do the worst things.
Yeah, I don't think they'll ever change.
If I had faith in humanity, I'd be a lot excited about some of this stuff. But I don't.
True. No, I see that.
And I have. And the day like someone presents me with an entirely AI made game, I will play it. Like I just don't care.
No. I'd like
or a book. Yeah,
or
a song.
I don't think a completely AI made game would be good. No,
I don't think anything completely like. A song, a book, a movie, like anything. I have no interest in that. Like if you use the tools to help you, like that's fine. Like they have like AI editing and stuff now. They have and all that stuff's fine, but like the moment you're just like,
there's some crazy shit.
Write me a story in a movie about this. Again, I mean if you watch a Marvel movie, that's pretty much an AI movie. It feels like it.
Yeah, they have a lot of the same beats is why.
Yeah.
Similar writing style, so
yeah, but I mean, I try to have like a medium position on it. I just like again, I just have so little faith in humanity, and that's where a lot of my negativity, towards this type of stuff comes from.
I don't know if you guys, I just want to give you guys an example. I don't know if you guys get this in your algorithms or not, but there's a series of these AI cat videos that get created.
Yeah, I've seen one with working at fucking McDonald's. Oh my god!
So you've seen them?
Nightmare fuel, dude.
They are nightmare fuel. They're actually pretty well. They're completely garbage, but they're still highly curated and edited and spliced together. Like someone put a lot of effort into generating a shit ton of AI and then putting it all together into some kind of mishmash of a cohesive storyline or storyboard. The one I remember in particular was the cat father, where the house is burning down. He had to save the cat son. Yeah, it was like a whole crazy. And then like the kid dies, the kitten dies.
Oh,
it's
God.
Like crazy. It's dark. It's crazy. But it has like millions and millions and millions of likes on Facebook. Like this stuff. That is the danger that I see, because it's such a. It's not that is a low effort, but it's it's literally something that's not really like doesn't even make fucking sense, and it's literally taking over like people's complete algorithms. So that is the danger. And also I saw it a lot too with like the AI image generation, where people would see like, you know, Walmart trucks that took like 20 lanes up in the streets with American flags on it, and they'd be reposting it. So that's a problem. So that's one of the big things. But I think when you use this technology, like we were talking about with DeepSeek and using it for creating things when it comes to video games and stuff like that, I think it's going to be, and the neural networking stuff is absolutely mind-boggling. So I think that would be really cool in stuff like GTA 6. But I don't think GTA 6 is going to, I think that's going to actually disappoint a lot of people now. We'll see what happens.
Why? I think
$100 game. I think
maybe.
people will.
We don't know.
People are jonesing for it.
I think
it's still not confirmed. I saw another report on that.
There's another report that dropped. I was actually surprised we didn't talk about that because
we already talked about it.
Yeah, I know, but I feel like even then it was like it wasn't really official. Now I feel like it's still not more or less. I know, but do you think it's not going to be? Did we make a bet about this?
No, we didn't make a bet.
It doesn't make sense for them to.
My opinion hasn't changed. Now I'll be as always. Like, I think I'm the first person to admit when I'm wrong about something, but they haven't. I do think there'll be $100 version. I've said that many times, but I think there will be. I think there'll be a $70 base version. Still,
there's going to have to be, because I mean that's the market. Like,
but
again,
I'm happy. I'm happy to be wrong. Like, whatever. I don't
want to be happy for being wrong. They're being
I'm willing to be wrong. I'll say, just like I admitted the little things I was wrong about on the Switch, right? Like that shit. I was like, I was wrong on that. I don't care. I'm not living or dying by this, I'll sleep fine tonight, but I still don't think my opinion has, so I didn't bring it up on the news because it's like my opinion hasn't changed. I didn't think Kai's had, and you,
so not newsworthy until they make an official announcement then.
Because we've already, we've commented on the rumors, already. None of our opinions seem to have changed. You think they will? Kai think they won't. I think they will. Yeah.
I think they will.
And that's fine.
And I feel like we're being conditioned to accept it with these like drops every couple of weeks. Like, it's probably happening.
It's possible. And I think
if any game can get away with it, they're the only one that can. People
probably
have been waiting a lifetime for this game.
I'll buy it. I mean,
I would too. That's the problem. I definitely pay.
But they will lose sales, I think, because there are people who just physically can't buy it. Right? It's not a matter of willingness. There's people who can't spare the extra $30. That's just
the thing is too. You think about accessibility.
People that won't, for out of principle, be like, man, I'm not paying.
There'll be those.
I don't think.
I mean there won't be too many. I don't think Rebellion buys, but $30 does price people out of it. I mean, they'll wait. Yeah. It just does. That's just the reality.
I'm just thinking about this though. Like when GTA 5 came out, there still wasn't a really good. Even Steam. When did it come out? 2013. Steam is like 2010 or whatever. So like Steam was still kind of in its infancy.
Steam was popping by 2010.
Yeah, Steam came out like around 2003.
Yeah, Steam was.
Yeah, but when did Steam like become like mainstream?
Pretty
like around that time.
Yeah, like Steam was popping. Steam was popping by like 2007. Like
I don't remember hearing about Steam until about
2003 is like when it came out. But it's like around 2013 and stuff. Yeah, Steam was like the platform on PC.
Steam was
either way. In 2013. You were 360 PS3 and whatever Nintendo was doing at that time, Wii, whatever, and basically that was all you still had a huge physical copy distribution network. There wasn't really a good digital distribution system at that time, and even if Steam was popular, they didn't have GTA 5 on PC right away. It didn't come out until like 2 or 3 years later. So
it went to like next gen.
So, like, if you thought, like, GTA 6 was limited by, like, a physical distribution network, you wouldn't be able to keep these copies on the store shelves. But you think about accessibility now, this game is going to be immediately available to hundreds of millions of people on day one as soon as it drops all over the planet. It's going to sell like crazy. I don't think they give a fuck.
Well,
if $30 is going to price people out.
like for price range. But and again,
I still think plenty of people will make that gap happen. They'll get to that 70.
There are people who can't make that gap happen. I mean, that's the thing.
Then they're not playing. They're not playing on a PS5.
They are like I have a friend who's that way. I have a I literally
fucking $700
I literally know a guy who has a PS5 because I gave it to him, and he probably won't be able to afford GTA 5 or 6 for a while if it's $100. Like his shit's that tight. We were talking about it the other day.
I just don't think
these people exist. You know, like
I just don't think that Rockstar is counting on.
They maybe not. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't care. I don't. So, maybe they do. Maybe they don't.
Yeah, I think
they have the people.
Rockstar's strategy seems to be console launch, get everyone to buy the shit out of this game on the PS5 and possibly Xbox Series X or whatever, because that's Xbox is done, and then from there they're gonna milk it again all over again on PC 2-3 years later. So.
Tried and true. Well, the current reporting is this going to be like that next spring, so November, and then come out like in March or something. But
less than a year from the console launch. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean that's the current rumor. That's the current shit coming out for it. So
I'd be surprised if they were that quick with it, but I guess it's
piss me off because like I'm gonna buy it on the PS5 and then
Yep,
probably
me too.
But I mean, if they have crossplay, it won't really piss me off. But
there's no crossplay on the current GTA 5 online, right?
Well, yeah, that's because crossplay didn't exist at the time.
No.
GTA 5 was,
and they never implemented it.
Yeah, I fully expect that they'll have.
It's just crazy that game is literally
it's a 360
12 years old.
PS3. Yeah, so I mean,
when
when GTA 5 came out, they had to bolt a lot of technology onto it as time went on because it just didn't exist at the time. So
now there's the enhanced edition that gives you ray tracing. It makes it run worse.
Stupid. That is so.
It makes it run worse. Oh Lord.
All right, gentlemen. Well, we stopped at exactly the moment I wanted to. So, so I think we came to the end of that. So we will now move on to the main event that we have all been waiting for, I think. The Spot'em game of the generation. So let me explain the rules of this to our fine audience. We've each picked 4 of our personal favorite games of the gen. The rules are that, number 1, we had to have played these. And then number 2, they had to have been released from 2021 onward or ongoing or majorly updated. That, there's some technicalities you could squeeze in there. For example, Fortnite is the current front runner for the community one. Yeah, exactly. But never fear, our current front runner is Baldur's Gate 3. So that's great. So we're gonna go around. So we're going to go around. We're going to start by going around, and we're each going to name a game on our list. We're going to explain why we've nominated it. We're going to put it on our list, and then we're going to argue over its placement on our list. And by the end of it, we will have a structured tier list. And there's 12, so we're going to be cutting 2, of course, because no one wants a top 12 list. Only top 10 lists, because that's what people do. That's what sane non-AI people do. So
only AI people go to people.
We are not we are not AI generated here. Okay.
I don't know. I might be.
So let's see.
I'm pretty sure we all live in a simulation, so we're all probably AI generated.
I've read that paper. Where they talk about we're not getting into that. Yeah. All right. Let's let the writing room post it here. Choice. Okay. All right, cool. So I guess are you ready
chat's
with
calling us out? I just
saying just not AI.
if you guys got images ready for me, I can upload them.
I can. All right. Well,
we'll be adding those as we get through.
Yeah. So I guess I'll start.
Yeah, go ahead.
With mine. My first one is Baldur's Gate 3. Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, what else is there to say, quite frankly? But I'll say some more. It's one of the greatest RPGs ever made. It's currently probably my favorite game of all time. it just has so many options, so many just jaw-dropping moments. Like by the end of in my first playthrough with my main character, I was just, I mean, it was almost some grown man tears happened. With the way I wish I could talk about how my story ended without spoiling it for everybody. I won't do that here. But it was so good. And it's amazing every time I play it, just how different my path is through. And it's not just, oh, I plugged in this number and this happened. You have completely different relationships with the characters as you make your way through it.
Mm-hmm.
There's party members that I had no idea could be your party members. And it's insane. And yeah, I mean, and when it came out, it set the world on fire. I mean, massive sales. It was top on Steam for a while, massive. It really put Larian on the map. So, that's my first pick, and I'll throw it to Kai for his first pick.
Okay. I'm going to throw out something pretty different, and it's going to be an indie title.
Oh.
Yeah. This is a game called Lunacid. It is a great game. You never heard of it, have you?
No. Let me look this up.
So, Lunacid is a very interesting game that it harkens back to actually FromSoft's very first game they released ever, Kingsfield.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't play exactly like Kingsfield, but it's very reminiscent of that. It's also one of those games. My old brain likes these nostalgic, ugly graphics, look like PS1 graphics, and it's very stylized at this point. So I enjoy it as a style. Back in the day, it was limitations, but if it's done right, it can have that same feel. So you kind of get that if you like things like that. It's also just a really fun little RPG. Run around, has an interesting world for like you just go explore and find different secrets and all of that. And again, it's just kind of like one of those games with a bit more magic to it. When again, if you get that feel, kind of like if you played. Anyone played Dusk? Whenever Dusk came out, it was one of these first games that actually had kind of like these more stylized, like older PS1 graphics type games, but had like more modern gameplay to it, but still had some of the old game design feel around it as well. That was the core. That's what this has as well, and it's just a fun little FPS that you can just run around. You can be crazy strong person or use magic. Magic is actually really overpowered in that game, so that's kind of like the way to go. But yeah, it's just a lot of fun. It's not going to be like the best game of all time or the best for the generation for me. It's just one of my favorites. I've played this game or this generation just because of like it's just so different than most of everything else you see come out, and I think it came out at a great time because it released literally on Halloween on 2022, I think, like that. So yeah, fun game. Again, it's not going to be getting game of the year or anything like that, but if you like games like that, it's definitely worth checking out.
Just real quick on it, I do like the graphic style myself. I was looking at the screenshots; it does look nice.
Yeah,
fantastic. All right, well, Zicada, give us a pick, man. What you got?
Now, in terms of how we're ranking these, is this just our absolute top pick, or is this one of the?
No, we're just throw them out.
Our games, our picks, and then we're gonna fight for like which ones we think are gonna be the top.
All right, so
we'll order it after. I mean, I have mine in my head, but
you went Baldur's Gate right out of the gate, no pun intended. And then so I wanted to see if I had parity. So I'm gonna go ahead and upload the picture for my game real quick. Because I'll just come out of the gate with mine as well.
Yeah, I had
because this is the game I did play this year, came out this year. Well, that actually technically last year, but we're kind of reviewing the last year. So
we're reviewing the generation.
Yeah, it's just a few years.
Mine is Unicorn Overlord. Probably no surprise.
I called it.
Probably no surprise.
I called it earlier.
To anyone that knows me, but this game was a sleeper hit. Really scratched an itch I've been having for a long time. Huge Ogre Battle fan. Huge RTS fan. This game literally first of all, Vanillaware makes absolutely gorgeous games. Secondly, this game, there's no analog to it. There's no other game that's like this game that exists right now. The game was just absolutely a pleasure to play the whole way through. Completely captivated by the story. Nice. Nothing was too deep. Nothing was too deep. Like this isn't a life-changing game, but it's a fun game. It is a game that you can put down and pick up and play and have an insanely good time just fighting out hours long battles on these maps. Tons of tactics, tons of strategy, ton of different ways you can build your units up. Just all different types of side quests and everything. The game was just so well made, and Vanillaware really, 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 I believe, deserved a deserved a lot of success from this, and deserved for this to be a big hit. And this did seem to be a financial boon, a financial success. I believe Vanillaware ran out of money making this game. Yeah, like this game, I think this game basically almost bankrupted them. And they banked a lot on this being successful, and it even though it wasn't like a huge success, it was I believe a financial success for the company. So hopefully we'll be seeing this turn into an actual series. But for sure, this game, absolutely a fan of the franchise now. Will buy any follow-up game from Vanillaware regarding the Unicorn Overlord IP. I highly recommend that everyone play this game. Give it a chance. I know it's like the cliche thing, like, oh, you gotta play for 30 hours. I would say this game does take 8 to 10 hours to break in. After that, you're good. And some people will acclimate to this game a lot more quickly than others. If you're into RTSs, you'll probably find yourself way more comfortable early on. If you're not used to this type of style of game, it might take you a little bit longer. But I'd still recommend that you stick with it, because the payoff in the end is actually just amazing. And the artwork, superb, chef's kiss. So that's mine.
Hell yeah. Would you say that Unicorn Overlord is Vanillaware's final fantasy?
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, moving on.
I mean, I'm just saying, like that's how that title got made, because it was literally going to be their last game.
I've never really played like Vanillaware games before then. I've seen their game styles, and I've heard things about them as a developer. But
I was just saying, because it's like that game would have been possibly their last game, so it's kind of like their final fantasy.
I think this will save them. I just don't know what Vanillaware wants to do. Right. But I definitely think that because of the success of this game, and it kind of broke through, through to the mainstream. I've seen a lot of positive. Like, no one's talking negatively about this game. I think the only thing I've heard, honestly, was that it's not hard enough. There is like an extremely hard mode, but there's no permadeaths in the game or anything like that. So, that's obviously, some people like that crazy Fire Emblem style where, there's got to be crazy heavy stakes to it. But this game is more for the casuals, but at the same time still gives like more hardcore players something to really chew on as well. So I'm not some people are true purists. I'm not a snob. I try not to be. I can be. I try not to be.
Right.
I looked at this pretty objectively, and the fact that there's just nothing like this game out there right now. Yeah, I think that this could be their Final Fantasy moment, though, for sure. I think that's a possibility.
Sweet. All right. Well, I guess I will go with my second pick, which is, no surprise, Elden Ring. I think, I mean, it's From Software's magnum opus. I mean, it is pound for pound probably the best Souls game ever made. I mean, it is
arguably.
It set the world. Listen, I'm a Dark Souls 1 guy. That's my heart. But I mean, when you look at the totality, I mean, I can see the argument. It's
Elden Ring is like you said, it's kind of like their magnum opus. It's like their masterpiece game. Yeah. Elden Ring is really good.
Yeah, and just like Baldur's Gate, I mean, you had Granny out here playing Elden, like a From Software game. It was wild the amount of people who like picked up Elden Ring. And if you look at the like platinum rate, it is shockingly high. I think it has a higher platinum rate than like Spider-Man on PlayStation. Yeah, it's insane. Don't quote me on that. But it has like higher platinum rates than a lot of games you would think. The platinum rate's insane. It's like 30% or something, which is stupid good. And yeah, I mean, it's another one that's on my list where there's not too much to say that hasn't been said before. But I no-lifed this game when it came out. I no-lifed it a second time when the expansion came out. No-lifed the expansion. I don't have the platinum, but I'm pretty fucking close.
Same. I think I have like only. I'm curious. I think I only have like 20 achievements left to like platinum that game.
Yeah,
which I've only platinum one game ever.
If I had the time in life, I would platinum it. It's one of those I would, but I probably never will. I just don't have the time. But it is, yeah, it's really good. It's fantastic.
Actually, I was wrong. I'm 12 away.
Oh, damn, nice. Yeah, is that with the expansion?
It's separate. I don't think.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. They separate that out. Okay, all right. But yeah, I mean, everything from, I remember when I sat down and started the game up and just that opening music, just the booming, like, let's fucking go. I took time off for that game too. I took like Friday through Monday off for that bitch, and I just sat there. I bought a big party pack of Taco Bell. And I did this massive bag of, yes.
Oh my God, let me tell you.
And I just sat there and fucking just no-lifed Elden Ring.
Hell yeah.
It was so good. And it was an event. It felt like everyone was playing Elden Ring.
Yeah, dude.
Whereas like normally when a Souls game comes out, you have to go tell people, be like, what have you been playing? You're like, well, it's really good. You don't understand. I know it's really hard. I don't recommend it really too hard, but like, but this one, it felt like everyone was playing it.
Elden Ring became so mainstream that there's an American dad joke about Elden Ring.
It's so true.
It's it's my favorite jokes in the show.
Yeah, it was an event, and I think that it belongs at the top of this list, honestly, but we'll get there. Yeah, but yeah, that's my second one. Kai?
Nice. All right. So
have we heard of this one?
Yeah. This
okay.
This is what we gotta be heard about.
Stellar Blade. God. Yep. Or as Kai likes to call it, robot butt cheeks.
Dude. You got it wrong. It's robot flapping butt cheeks.
Oh.
No, but no, that game, it's a lot of fun. It's a really, really fun game. And it just kind of came out of nowhere. Of the style of everything, the gameplay itself, it's like not super complicated, but once you get into it and you start unlocking like all the different like move sets and like special moves and everything, and you learn how to like do the blinking system and the dodging and doing all these crazy counters and stuff, like it's so good. Yeah. The story, little weak, a little predictable, and a bit on the nose for some of the characters' names. But as we talked about a moment ago, when it came to like platinum game, Stellar Blade is the first and only game I've ever platinumed.
Damn.
Ever.
Okay.
It's just that fun. I played through that game like 3 times to platinum that game.
Yeah.
And it's just great. And there's many other things, like, I'm not going to go too much into it because I'm a little sensitive, but like the customization for Eve and what you can do, what you want to be dressed up in and everything, that's all really cool and nice. And also you feel very rewarded for exploring in this game, just finding different things, new cosmetics, new outfits, and all that stuff. And what's even cool about that game too is that like when you play on New Game Plus, even if you went and got stuff from the first playthrough, it changes to something else whenever you're going through this second or third time, whenever many times you play through a New Game Plus. So, it just wanted to be one of my favorite games of the generation so far, just because like it came out with a very awesome gameplay. I love the art style to it and everything. And it's just honestly one of the most beautiful games on the PS5, mind you. It's a very, very graphically pretty game. And also, again, when it comes down to it, I'm a big sucker for any time that a developer actually wants to use the DualSense functions for the controller. Like, again, they actually do that with, so you have like a drone that goes around with you and you can use as a gun, and depending on what the gun type you're using, or like ammo type you're using, the trigger changes with its like pressure and how much you actually can press it down and stuff. So yeah, again, anytime developers use the DualSense, they get big points for me because I feel like a lot of developers don't actually take advantage of that for the PS5, and it's a really cool controller. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a really fun action game.
All right, cool. Stellar Blade, everybody. All right, Z, your second one.
All right, so okay, let's see. I'm gonna have to put Octopath Traveler 2 as my number 2. This game was astrofucking-nomically beautiful. I think it is the pinnacle definitive HD 2D JRPG that exists right now. The game definitely, just from beginning to end, was just a wild ride. So I don't know if you guys played any of the Octopath games before, but the first one was a great concept. Obviously, it was revealed for the Nintendo Switch back in like 2018. Then that game did pretty well, sold really well, but there was a lot of criticisms on the game. Had a lot of critical reception regarding how discombobulated and disconjointed all the stories were. It was basically like just 8 separate stories with a very loose final chapter. This game is Octopath is kind of a spiritual successor to Live Alive, which was a game that never made it to the West. Had a similar type of scenario, but then everything kind of converged. Octopath Traveler 2 solved that problem. All the stories now have much more interconnectedness amongst them. And the final chapter is a lot more cohesive. Plus, I think all the 8 characters that are in the game were just written masterfully. And then on top of that, your music composition in this game is just next level. I literally have like a playlist of just like the music from this game that I listen to sometimes.
Oh, wow.
I'm just like, doing things and trying to be productive, because the battle music in that game. There's actually a whole band that actually followed me on Twitter because I retweeted one of their videos saying it was like a really amazing cover of one of the battle themes in the game. It was like it's a metal cover band, and they it's just, the music is so well done. So the game is just it was another 80-hour game basically to beat, but this game really kind of, I believe, set the standard, and I think it's also going to be another Final Fantasy moment for Square Enix, because Square Enix is bleeding fucking money right now with their AAA offerings. They invested in a lot of bad stuff. Even though the Final Fantasy VII Remake games are probably doing okay, there's a lot of other games that they've made that have flopped, and there's a lot of other developers or studios that they invested in that aren't doing well. So yeah, basically at the end of the day, these little HD 2D games have low development costs, don't take forever to make, and make a shit ton of money for them. So I think that if it wasn't for Octopath, Square Enix wouldn't have had basically the courage to go ahead and do this Dragon Quest III remake that came out. So yeah, this game, without this game, Square Enix probably would be in way worse shape than they are now. I think this is kind of like a pillar or a cornerstone of their company strategy going forward. And Octopath Traveler, the whole franchise, is really kind of, I feel like, single-handedly responsible for that. So that game also started my streaming journey. That was the first game actually, there's another game that's going to be on this list that was part of that too, but Octopath Traveler 2 is one of those games. Met a lot of amazing people through playing that game on stream. Got to share that experience. I'm a little upset because when I first started streaming, basically I didn't know that you can upload all your VODs to YouTube. And so I lost all that footage. So all of that experience is gone.
Unfortunate.
But I lived it, and it was amazing, and that's why it's going to be number 2 on my list. So
awesome.
You're a PS5.
I hear a PS5 as well. It's not my PS5. I'll say that.
Nor mine.
All right, we are now moving into. I spoiled my first 2 picks by just being a fanboy. My third pick, let me go ahead and get the picture uploaded here. My third pick is going to be Hitman: The World of Assassination.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this one is not really talked about as much these days. You don't hear as much about this game, but I absolutely loved this game. It really it was Hitman 3 on it, but they rolled in the first two in there because Hitman 3 was kind of where they just redid the whole package because it was getting really confusing to buy all of them separately and all this stuff. But I put a stupid amount of time in this game. I play this game regularly to this day.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's almost like a comfort game for me, quite frankly, because if you care about level design, this game has the best level. I've never seen level design as good as this game. Not in a single game have I seen. The way they design levels, the way they design encounters, and the options of going through it, and the amount of assassinations that you get, it's really good. It just doesn't get old. You can kill the same target 82 different ways.
Right.
And then they add in a bunch of other targets. Then they added in what you call it, the roguelike. That's the word I'm looking for. They added a roguelike mode. So if you've somehow exhausted this game of its near infinite content, they added an infinity mode into the game.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, where it's just basically they give you a random target and it's figure out how to kill it. So and that can, and because it's random, it can lead you into some seemingly unwinnable situations. But that's kind of the fun of that mode. And there's like a persistent base that you have that you lose the weapons you go in with, that type of stuff. It's a phenomenal game. If you like stealth action, if you like kind of replaying, infinite levels that just change, it's really good. I think it's one of the best games released this generation easily. And like I said, I do play it. I play it all the time. I've done on stream a time or two, but just in my free time, I'll just boot up a Hitman level, and I'll just play through it if I'm just bored or I just don't want to play anything else.
Gotcha.
And I think the game got a lot of love, but probably not enough love. But it is kind of a niche genre, though, right? Like stealth action, assassin-y titles. So
they've kind of gone the wayside. I mean, the most popular titles out of those are like, Metal Gear Solid and shit, I can't think of Splinter Cell. There we go. Jesus, my brain did not want to think of that game.
Yeah. If you like Splinter Cell, if you're like, man, if you're one of these dudes, I want a Splinter Cell game, go play Hitman. Like, just go play that. It's better, honestly, and it has like an element of humor too. It's not all like doom and gloom. Like seeing Agent 47 dressed as a fucking like chef, or is like just coming out like, and he's just straight faced. Like this man, he's like, "What would you like to eat?"
And then you can pick up cans of spaghetti and throw
it's like if I saw this man in a room, I would be like, and he's got the barcode on the back of his head, and the game knows this, so it's very straight faced and serious. But yeah, but it has a level of humor in it, and I think it's, and I think it definitely belongs on this list.
Hell yeah.
So, all right. So I guess that goes to you next. What is your third game?
Again, gonna be a little bit different, a little bit out there.
Okay. All right. Let me pull Steam up so I can look it up.
This is something I actually got to review copy for. It is called Squirrel with a Gun.
Oh. Squirrel with a gun. Okay.
It's another indie game. This game is ridiculous. You're literally a squirrel with a gun.
Okay, I'm looking at you are
I've seen this game before, and I think
it is as advertised. Okay, please explain to me why this is the best game of the gen.
It's just one of my favorite games of the gen.
No, for sure, yeah.
But it could be one of the best just for the sheer fact it's very new. It's very different. It's kind of like, you ever played Goat Simulator or heard
I have.
Goat Simulator?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that in a sense. Like it's
Okay.
a silly, stupid, goofy sandbox you get to go way around and play and do different things in. It's just like that, but you're a squirrel with a gun. Not just like a handgun. You can get like a shotgun, you can get a sniper rifle, you can get a rocket launcher, you can get a grenade launcher.
Yeah. I've got to say,
I've seen crazy gameplay from this game.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the little hats and costumes the squirrels wear, that carries a lot of weight for this game. Yeah, it is endearing me to this game just looking at the little hats. They like the one with the little eye patch. I'm a sucker for a squirrel with an eye patch, as it turns out. I've just learned that in this moment.
Dude,
he's in a hazmat suit.
Yeah, you get like
okay.
And with some of those, they actually like have different abilities for you. So like that one you saw, that hazmat suit, that's a bomb suit. So if you were wearing that and go around like a minefield, you won't get hurt or blown away because you're wearing your minefield. There's a diving suit for you to actually like, control yourself in water and everything. You double jump by shooting a gun below you.
Mm-hmm.
You can use an Uzi to like propel yourself up as like a double jump to get up higher places. It's such a weird and fun little game. And then you can ride around in an RC car and go to like a skate park and do stupid tricks.
That's hilarious. Okay. All right. You've made a good case for this being okay.
It's a really fun game. And again, it's so different and it's very creative in a lot of ways. And it's just fun. And like you talked about, like, the fashion and everything, or like the cosmetics and everything. I ran around as an albino squirrel with a rainbow mohawk and a white tuxedo.
Do you get to customize your squirrel? Like,
so you'll go around and like it's more looks like a puzzle game. So you go and like solve puzzles and do different things to gain access to more areas as you progress through the game. And you'll unlock like cosmetics and stuff for yourself as you go. So you'll get like different colors you can make your squirrel. You'll get like getting those hats, or you can have mohawk. You can have, different outfits and everything for your squirrel as well as you're playing through it. So yeah, it's just fun. Let me just put it this way. Like I actually have a short of this, and it's great. So like there's a puzzle where you go to his house and it's like this backyard wedding. I'm like, oh dude, this lady is really sad. She's at the altar, and her hubby or husband to be is nowhere to be found. I went up, I got up onto the house behind her and went onto a balcony, and I found this dude in a blue tuxedo passed out. It's passed out.
That's pretty good.
And there's ragdoll physics, so like I pushed him off of the balcony, and he woke up and then ran to the altar, and that was
wow. Okay,
that was the solution. And your whole objective is to get golden acorns because you're a squirrel. So
of course, yeah.
But yeah,
fantastic,
really fun game. Definitely check it out if you haven't. It's definitely worth like $20.
Yeah, you've definitely at least sold me on the idea of this game. Like I said, the hats do a lot of the heavy lifting as well.
It's a fun, stupid, silly idea. That's all it is. It's a good time.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right, man. Zicada, let's get your third one, man. What you got for me? What you got on?
All right,
on this
let
list?
me see what I got here on my sleeve. I think for my third pick for the gen is going to be an indie game that I paired up with Octopath Traveler 2. This game caught my eye, I want to say in 2020. I don't know if it was before the pandemic or right around the pandemic. I saw this trailer in a Nintendo Direct for this game. It was called Eastward. And I'll put that up.
I think
I thought I had Eastward on here. Fuck. Hold on one second.
Eastward.
It's on Steam, so you should be able to find it.
Yeah.
It is. Let me put this on the list.
Okay. Yeah, it's got definitely a.
So this game is interesting. It caught my attention. It had a. Actually, kind of. Can I play the trailer in the stream? I kind of want to. I want to just. I kind of want to show you what captivated me. I think that this was it's an indie. It's an indie. Yeah. So just give me 1 second. Hold on. Let me bring it up.
Okay. While he's doing that, I'll commentate on it. It looks kind of. It reminds me a little bit of Stardew Valley in some ways, but not quite as. Like just the look and kind of feel of things. It kind of has like that kind of like rustic coziness about it, but the graphic style is a little bit more detailed.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a train too, and okay, let's see. It says it is a journey through society on a brink of collapse, discovered delightful towns, strange creatures, and even stranger people. Although recent reviews are mixed. Why is that?
All right,
simply drags on too long. Okay.
Yeah, there's some weird criticisms, I think, on like Steam and stuff. And there we could talk about that, but
no, we don't have to. I was just filling time while you got
this is the trailer that caught my eye.
Okay.
I just thought it was very. First of all, I'm a sucker for like synth, retro, pixelated graphics. This game, made by Pixel, who are the same people that
Oh, shout out to Chucklefish.
Chucklefish. I'm sorry, that's who it was. The Stardew Valley. So yeah, you said it's nothing like Stardew Valley, but it does have the vibes. This is actually a little too loud, I think, for the stream. But yeah. So this game, it plays like Zelda, Legend of Zelda, like 16-bit Legend of Zelda, but has a story that's very similar or in the style and theme of Earthbound or Mother. The JRPG series of Earthbound / Mother, and it was, I thought, an amazing story, and I thought the entire game, the game isn't super long. I think I beat it in like 20 hours or something like that, but just a really, really fun game, and the fact that it was made by a very, very, I think like a team of 3 people or something like that made this game.
Oh wow, it's a small team, man.
Yeah, nice. I believe it was a very, very small team. And this got delayed because of the pandemic, but I really, truly enjoyed it. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10 game, but I think what the game was trying to do story-wise, it has also kind of like that Last of Us feel, because it's like a dystopian future. You have the father figure, John, who, finds this mysterious girl, and they takes on like a kind of father-daughter relationship kind of thing going on.
Sad dad simulator.
Yeah, it's a sad dad simulator in a sense, but I thought it was very good. I thought it was a very compelling story.
Okay. Nice.
And it really, really caught my attention, and I had a really, really good time with that game. So, with that being said, I don't want to spoil it. I do recommend buying it on a Steam sale. Oop, I have to mute this because this is going to come through on stream. But I definitely recommend picking it up on like a Steam sale or something like that, and giving it a couple hours. It may not be for everyone. Like I said, it plays a lot like the old Zelda games. Like you get hearts, and then you got to like upgrade those hearts over time. You get better upgrades to your weapons over time, so on and so forth. Has a really cool cooking simulator in there, kind of like Breath of the Wild, which was really nice. And the story is I think the story is really refreshing and kind of different than what a lot of other games are doing, especially trying to, narratively. So I thought it was really good. And I think it deserves a very, very high place on this list. So that's why it's there.
Oh, a very, very high. Okay, all right.
Oh, dang.
Okay, he's going to be fighting for that one. All right. So we're down to the wire here, gentlemen. Picks, and I saved my controversial pick for last. The other ones, not so much, but this one, man, it's even controversial to me having it on this list. Like I thought long and hard about this position, but I couldn't. I had to put it on here because no other game has pissed me off like this game has either. Like this game I've never been physically angry at a game before this game. All right. But in the end, they made it right. Cyberpunk 2077 has to be on this list.
Oof.
Yeah.
I should have had that ready to go.
Did that come out 2021 or was it 2020?
Well, again, within the
there's a big update. There's a big update.
Yeah, within the confines of like the rules, like it does fit. And honestly, the reason it's so busted is because it was a next gen game. Like
and
they tried to
they
tried to cram onto
Yeah,
they tried to cram it. It had no business being there. So it's it gets in on some of the technicality. But when I finally sat down and played the final version of this game, it is phenomenal. Like it is a really good game. The story is fantastic. There's 2 moments in this game that like just linger with me, that when I was playing it at the time, just like jaw open as I'm just experiencing it in the story. And the story is really well written. The characters are really well written. The is amazing. Once they fixed the fucking combat and this classes and stuff like that, the classes are incredibly varied. You can play any version of a fucking cyberpunk, a crazy psycho robot half person that you want. You can be a hacker, you can be a stealth guy, you can be a big bruiser guy who just goes in and beats things with his fists. All that good stuff. And the story is great. The expansion is so fucking good. The expansion is really, really good. And I think the endings, there's not as many as like a Baldur's Gate. There's not as many choices as a Baldur's Gate, because what game is Baldur's Gate? But the endings are really, like, the ending choices, like, I sat there, I had to stop. Like, you get to the end, or before the end, there's a few too, but there are choices where I had to sit there for like 10 minutes and just think about it. And that's how I know the game's good, because you get into a moral quandary, just like, man, and like, you really, really, even though there's no sequel as of yet, and you don't know if this is gonna go anywhere or not, but you still sit there and think about it. And so as I like sat back and thought about the game experiences that I've had, like, this one was just, it wasn't at the top, but it was up there. It was the top, it's, on a list of 4. So, as it were. And yeah, I mean, again, it's controversial. I should reward it given the rocky launch and stuff, but at the same time, I can't deny how really fucking good I thought it was once I finally sat down with it. So that's my number 4.
I see that. I beat that game. It was a broken mess. I still haven't played it since it's been fixed. But I need to. I really do, because I also want to play the expansion, because I heard that's like really
primo.
Really
it's primo. Yeah. It's like blood and wine territory. It's really good.
Okay.
I might have been selling it too much. It's maybe just below blood and wine. Let me dial it. It's of the quality. It is definitely of the quality of it. It's, Idris Elba's character is pretty good. Some of one of the new options that because it adds a new ending to the game, like a new path, and that ending is very interesting as well. They've done a lot, and it's really good. And it's cinematic in ways that much smaller games are not. Like, some of those conversations where you're just looking, like, because they love to like do the character doing a deep stare into your eyes as they talk, and they're just telling you, looking into your soul. And some of that stuff's really fucking good. So really well done.
All right. Cyberpunk getting the controversial pick.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Kai, that's your final pick. Let's hear it. What do we got?
This one probably won't be all that crazy, but Black Myth.
Okay. All right. All right.
Black Myth. I'm gonna be trying to fight for the top pick.
The top pick. You think it's gonna do number 1? Okay.
I want it. That's what I want.
I was thinking about cutting it, but okay.
What? No, man. No, Black Myth. A lot's been said about the game. I don't know what else I could say that could top what's already been said. But this game, it's done so well. And again, it's not necessarily trying to mimic a Souls-like game or anything, but has like some of those qualities to it. But the story and like this, it not only does like the story, but like it's actually a big breakthrough to like cultural crossings and everything, for just your fact that like most people don't know much about Journey to the West, like, at all. And this is not like a one-to-one story to it. It's a completely different way of being told, but it's a really interesting and just creative way of how they went about with this story, and made it so different and allowed people to actually get to kind of understand, the journey of Sun Wukong. And not only that, like the art style, like it was like one of the first Unreal Engine 5 games I ever saw for a trailer for, and I was like, holy shit. And people were like, that's not going to be gameplay. I'm like, I hope it is. And it was. That was real. It wasn't it wasn't a fake out for once. So that gave it that's like a big gold star right there that they actually told the truth. But the game's fun. I enjoy just going around trying to figure out all the secrets and everything. And not only that, I am going to be breaking it a little bit, or kind of spoiling some stuff, but like in between each act, there's a different style of animation that doesn't have like any words or anything, and it's all just done with like music and emotion, and then they're all done and portrayed so well. And there hasn't been another game like this one to come out. And again, it's basically a new IP. Again, it's bringing in a story from the East that most people don't know about. Again, crossing a cultural gap. Also, it sold like 20 million copies in its first month, being a brand new title. People are like, oh, it's just because of Chinese. Who fucking cares, man? That game sold. So I think it definitely deserves to be like towards the top, or possibly the top of the list, in my opinion. But yeah, if you play Blue Myth, if you heard about it, you probably heard great things. Again, I kind of can't say any more about the game. That's already been said. It's so good about it, but it's one of these games. It's like once in a generation of a console or anything. It's definitely one of those.
Okay. All right. Fantastic.
I will say, for the record,
okay.
My favorite thing about Wukong is the golden cicada in the beginning of the game.
Oh my god. All right. Moving on. All right.
That alone should make it beat Baldur's Gate. So
no, God, Jesus Christ. Anyway, so all right, Cicada, what's your final pick, man? What are we throwing on this list?
This is too hard for me. I have so many that I want to put here. I do have honorable mentions. I think I have to pick this one. I think I'm okay with it being cut, although I do think it is a... like I said, I have some honorable mentions, but I'm gonna put as my last pick is gonna be Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Okay.
So I wanted to get a Fire Emblem game in there. I personally, I know a lot of people have issues with Three Houses. I personally think Three Houses was really, really good. See, this is another thing with Fire Emblem snobs and stuff. This game was probably a little bit more appealing to the West because of the Harry Potter style, academy thing and the whole school aspect of it. So, and it also had that crossover with like the Persona fans.
Sir, I'm gonna have to call foul on this one. It came out in 2019.
Womp womp.
Oh, then I can swap it out for Fire Emblem Engage, which would be the other substitute. But I think the thing is these games are almost interchangeable. They're the same exact engine. They really are the same generation. But we could swap. I'll swap out for Fire Emblem Engage. But I think I had a little bit more to say about Three Houses.
Yeah, I feel like
Engage is fine.
I was sitting there listening.
Fire Emblem Engage is 2023.
I have to keep us to the rules, because otherwise we gotta let Skyrim in. So,
and here's the thing: the only thing
listen, if we let Three Houses in, we gotta let Skyrim in. We gotta let Oblivion in.
We'll swap it for Engage.
You gotta let them all in.
Either, because at the end of the day, I'm okay with either one of these being cut. Like, this is not. I'm not gonna really go too crazy because this is Fire Emblem. It's a franchise that really stands on its own anyway.
I'll let you keep Fire Emblem on if we can cut Black Myth.
Well, no.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Like I said, I'm not gonna go up to bat for this. But I do think that this was really kind of important.
That's fine.
Because I'll just leave it up there for now. But anyway, the Fire Emblem Engage. First of all, that was actually, I thought Fire Emblem Engage was a little bit better than Three Houses because it kind of went back to the roots of Fire Emblem.
Interesting.
Although, at the same time, I think Fire Emblem Three Houses had a better appeal to the West. I think Engage did not get the same favorability because it kind of went back to the Eastern roots of the game. But nonetheless, Fire Emblem is just it's a series that had a hard time breaking through to the West. I need to support it because it's one of my favorite styles of games. Turn-based strategy is one of the best type of video game genres that exist, in my opinion. So I have to give it. I have to give it some sort of appreciation on this list. Like I said, it's low on the bottom of my personal list because I feel like it can stand up on its own without me going to bat for it. But essentially, that's why I think it should be there. And I do want to see more Fire Emblem games come out in the future. So I do want to show Nintendo and Intelligent Systems that this game does have fans that will pay money to play their game. So that's why it's there.
Gotcha.
Okay, I like Fire Emblem just fine. Let me real quick. Do you like XCOM?
Yeah, I like XCOM.
Okay, just curious. Okay, all right. Well, that's all of them listed out right there. Now we have the daunting task of organizing this into a list of
and we got
10 games. 2. We have to cut 2.
Now how are we going to go about the cutting of the 2?
The cut. I mean, I want to come out the gate. And the ones I think should be cut or that is probably Fire Emblem and Lunacid. I think that those 2 probably get cut. If I had to guess.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I figured Lunacid might be on that list just for the sheer fact that it's very niche.
Yeah, it was the least.
Are we gonna have
vibes,
a poll
man?
Or
vibes,
just vibes?
Vibe. Well, I think we just agree on it, and then can't agree.
Oh, I have to log in to do that. Damn.
Yeah. So I think if we can, if we can get to hear all this whole process through consensus, that's fine.
You may have to re-upload this. Okay. Never mind.
Oh, good.
No, I opened up in a new tab. It's fine.
Okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, but so if we can come to consensus, that's fine. But if not, we may put it to a poll or something and see. But I think Fire Emblem and
the community doesn't get an option. We're not going to allow the community to put a option in here. We're gonna because you really want to skew the vote for just us.
Well, this is our list, right? And then they have their vote, right? Like it's like the Game Awards, right? This is
that's fine.
The podcast
you run
list.
The show.
Yeah.
We'll do it your way.
But yeah, I think that the least convincing arguments I heard for Lunacid and Fire Emblem felt like an honorable mention, and Lunacid, I mean, versus game. Like
I have honorable mentions, but
when you first said the Squirrel game, I was like, this is getting cut.
I was gonna say, no way. This is it's
but
a funny game and everything, but
yeah. But you sold me on it. Like I was like, okay, that's fine.
To be honest, he sold me on it too. I was almost tempted to play that game when I saw Kai playing it. So
yeah,
it's really fun.
Yeah, and the screenshots. I mean, I think it's at number 10. I think it's a bottom. I do think it's a number 10 on the list. Personally, I think. But I think that it stays on the list. So okay, but that's my two. That's my 2 nominations for cuts. I don't know.
I was actually gonna say Eastward. I already thought probably Lunacid might be on the chopping block just because. So my consensus with that, but yeah, not necessarily for Eastward being a bad game, but just kind of like how Lunacid's kind of lumped in with like a very niche thing.
Yeah, Eastward was also going to be one of my cut picks as well. I try to, because I never played either of these, so I try to base it on like how swayed I was by the arguments I heard. Right. And I think Eastward, he kind of sold me a little bit more, personally than on Lunacid, with the Chucklefish. I mean, if you'd like to make a better case for Lunacid, you can. I mean,
oh no, I mean, to be honest, I also thought both of mine were going to be cut anyway, but I'm really glad that's Squirrel the Gun's on
hey,
here.
Listen, you sold me on Squirrel Gun. I mean, I will go to bat for you on that if Cicada fights it to be cut. We'll fight him together as a team.
Yeah, I don't think that game deserves to be on the list, but that's fine. I see too many other things.
Oh, which two?
Which two cuts would you pick, Cicada?
Lunacid and Squirrel with a Gun, easy.
Oh. Okay. Well,
yeah, like those 2 games. I don't know anything about those games. Only thing I know is the Squirrel with a Gun game. That game was
I don't know anything about Eastward. I play Fire Emblem.
Yeah, but the thing is, like for me, like Squirrel with a Gun feels like a meme game. Feels like a game that could have been made with AI. The whole enemy that you guys seem to be scared of in the future. Like this is the kind of brain rot that we're gonna fucking get in the future with AI games if your runaway theory actually happens. So yeah, Lunacid and Squirrel with a Gun for me is cut.
Dang, you threw a lot of insults out in that little rant, homie. Oh, Jesus Christ. You called us basically fearful, small-minded people. Jesus fucking Christ.
That's just how I think about the Squirrel. That's just
Well, no, I don't care what you said about the game. Like, anyway, we'll discuss that later. But I mean, there seems to be, I will say there's consensus on Lunacid getting cut. And I guess we can have our first poll if y'all want over Eastward versus Squirrel with a Gun. Which one gets cut? If you want to bring the community
I gotta stick up for Eastwood because, that game definitely just the fact that Chucklefish actually wanted to publish the game too. And they believed in these guys. These guys made a really good game. I feel like they got shafted because of the pandemic. Because the pandemic gave rise to things like Among Us and other games that just took attention away from some of these indie. Yeah, essentially. It was Among Us. It was fun. It had its place, But at the same time, I think it took a lot of attention away from some good stuff that was coming out during the pandemic.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just some interesting stuff. Yeah, and I feel like they got the short end of the stick, so that's why I gotta stick up for it a little bit.
Yeah. No, I was a little swayed by the Squirrel with a Gun argument rather than the personal insults thrown my way.
Some personal insults.
The Squirrel, the arguments against it. I say, okay, so we all seem to agree. What's that one called? Lunacid.
Like I said, it just feels like brain rot to me.
So we cut that, and then I guess we do a poll. Because we have kind of a three-way
that's the
split.
Thing.
We have a three-way split.
We can't do a Twitch poll. That's the only thing that sucks.
Oh, we can't? Why can't we do a Twitch poll?
Because I was trying to do it earlier, and it's reserved for partner affiliate, and we never did the affiliate switch over. So we have to find a website or something that can run a poll for us real quick.
That's
why I clicked live voting poll.
Okay, well then I guess we need to
log in.
Then I guess we need to reach consensus here.
Let's see if I can log in with
We'll have to do it the hard way.
I'm gonna see if I can get to log in here if it lets me log in with like Twitch or something.
You can log in with Google or X account. Yeah,
it still says Twitter. They're not changing it for shit. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. Gave it full permission to my fucking. So wait, no, I want to create a poll from this. Okay, so we have a 1 week. No, we don't want to have. It only gives us vote windows of 1 hour, so we're gonna have to set our own.
Oh, Jesus.
It kind of sucks.
Well, all right. I mean, we can just do consensus then. I mean, we'll just have
all right.
to do
Let's go over consensus. It'll be Yeah, it'll be fast.
So
what are we gonna do? Just poll. We're gonna just do a pulse check on chat. I don't know if they're there anymore.
We can do a pulse check, or I mean, we consensus amongst ourselves. I mean, to be honest,
we don't have no people. Yeah, we could just have chat say, here, pick a game and see if anyone's out there that's can add a little bit to the weight of whatever game that's on the verge of getting.
Yeah.
So.
I will say again, I was a little swayed by the Squirrel AI argument. I'll say that.
Listen, it wasn't meant to be personal insults. I just feel like it's brain rot.
I was drawn in by Kai's heart that he had for the game.
I feel bad because I do like the game in
what's
a way.
What's wrong with dumb fun?
I was drawn in.
I see both sides. But in terms of
this was always going to be hard, gentlemen.
Yeah, it was always going to be hard.
This was always going to be hard.
Everything else at this game, if it comes down to having to pick certain games that Kai has, there's games that I will vouch for a lot more on his list than these games. These are the games I will not vouch for at all on Kai's list, and that's just my reality. But there's other games on his list that I absolutely would vouch for.
Yeah, so the other cut I would make is Fire Emblem, but Kai seems okay with Fire Emblem being on this list.
Like I said, Fire Emblem is essentially my throwaway.
Yeah, well, I like Fire Emblem, but I don't like it that much. And Engage seemed to not really have a lot of support behind it either.
I was gonna say putting Engage up there as opposed to Three Houses, it made it even weaker.
I think I would have
really close.
Yeah, I would have fought for Three Houses, I think, but I never played Engage.
I think so too.
But I didn't play Engage because I saw a bunch of negativity, like some of the stuff I heard. But
it's a cool game. It's actually, you get to play as all the original heroes and stuff. They made a cool little mechanic to bring them back.
So how about this? Neat. So how about this? We cut. I feel like the compromise here. We cut Fire Emblem and we cut Squirrel Gun, but we keep Lunacid. How about that? And Eastward.
That's a crazy turn of events. I don't know if Kai wants that one. I think Kai.
It's a weird compromise.
Yeah. So he's like what?
That's a weird compromise.
I mean, this is the name of the game, fellas. This is the name of the game. I'm trying to help.
This is how legislation gets made.
So
yeah,
we get rid of the game that's more niche, but the less appealing one where you play as a gun or a squirrel shooting people.
Yeah, I mean,
they're my games.
I mean, to be honest,
we could just cut both of Kai's games. The only
that's kind of what I feel like. I feel the thing is, that's.
I mean, or how about this? Let's just cut Fire Emblem then.
Well, we got to cut 2 games. Like we have to cut 2. We have to cut 2.
What I'm saying.
Can we add more games and then cut more later?
What do we add?
Add 3 more games.
We'll be here. We'll be here all night if we. We did the adding process.
I have more games.
No, we did the adding process. It was hard for me. I had a short list of 10. So
I won't be mad if Fire Emblem gets cut. So that's fine. Okay. If you guys want to cut it, I'm fine with that.
Okay, so we're cutting Fire Emblem. We got
Fire Emblem stands on its own.
And
it's an established IP. It's been around. I think Lunacid can go too. I think Squirrel with the Gun wins, but it's a pariah.
Okay, all right. So we'll make it so we'll kill Lunacid. We'll put Squirrel Gun at number 10. Go ahead and put it at number 10.
So they're going down.
Yep. Rip.
Also I don't think the tier list is on screen.
Yeah, it keeps going away. Yeah, it keeps fading.
I was switching it to upload the images.
Oh, okay.
People seeing my entire crazy meme folder window. So,
okay, cool.
So they're moved down to 10.
All right, so we now have our top 10 list.
Schmidge.
This is the nitty gritty, folks.
All right, so where are we moving everything else now?
That's the question. That's the question.
That's where we're moving
Squirrel
now.
Yeah, Squirrel with a Gun goes 10 for sure. Yeah. I mean, because it almost got cut. It almost, it.
Yeah, that's fair. Like,
yeah.
I'm not. It's not a masterpiece of a game. It was just a really fun, innovative game. And different.
And it's hard to argue when a game is just fun that the game is objectively bad because if you're having fun, it really can't be, right? So.
Yeah, and this is our personal list. We just have to, compile it and argue for it to be the official.
We're all
list.
guilty of liking brain rot, and that's a guilty vice many of us have.
So. That game also made me laugh a lot. Like, it's really funny too.
It made me laugh too, especially in a lot of the clips. I've never played it, but I've laughed at it plenty of times. So
yeah. Okay. All right. So we have the first locked in. We've actually done really well. We've cut 2 and we've locked 1 in.
Yeah,
we're almost there, guys. We're almost there.
Actually,
we're 9 more to go.
We're just gonna take Lunacid and Fire Emblem Engage completely off the list. They're gone.
Honestly, I think our top 3. We'll get there, but what our top 3
your games? No.
No.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, my games, but not my games.
Well, no. Okay, so let me tell you what I think the top 3. I think it goes Baldur's Gate, Wukong, Elden Ring. That's what I think.
That might be.
Baldur's Gate, Wukong, Elden Ring. I definitely think Wukong deserves to be in the number 1 spot. To be honest,
I don't
have.
I would put Wukong.
I
would put
Wukong more Wukong than I had BG3. Wukong is a fucking masterpiece, bro. It's a fucking masterpiece.
Baldur's Gate is even more of a masterpiece.
I won't argue with that.
Baldur's Gate is really good, but it's also an established
IP.
And Larian is
Baldur's Gate, and then if we have to defer to cultural significance, Baldur's Gate blows Wukong away. Like,
to what far. Culture though? Cultural significance to the west or to the east?
To this, I don't give a fuck about Chinese culture right now. Jesus. This is the
whole game is like
American
basically
culture.
Like, okay, we're getting real protectionist here, huh?
I'm just kidding. But
I mean, yeah.
But no,
I also have a very, very fond,
I would put Wukong at number 9 on this list out of all these games if it was up to me. And putting it at number 2 is my compromise. Like that is the what they call the.
We just need Astrobot on this list now.
I'm gonna say.
I actually thought you were gonna put it on there. To be honest.
Thought Astrobot was gonna be here. I'd put Astrobot above Wukong. I think.
What? I like Astrobot, no, it's not. Yeah.
Can I say something? This is gonna make everyone here angry. This is gonna make everyone here angry. I kind of think Wukong looks a little like an AI game. A little bit.
God damn! Everything I have is AI, guys. I don't know what real video games are. Apparently,
I've always kind of thought that I'm coming out.
Is not an AI game.
I've always kind of thought that.
Fucking crazy game.
Wukong.
Crafted very,
I was blown away by Wukong.
It looks like a tech demo. Like it
looks like a tech demo, and it
long
looks
tech demo. Yeah, it does. I think so too. I think it does.
Like, again, what they showed as the gameplay for the very first 10-minute trailer was literally what you got on your game. In your game, they did not lie about it. They didn't mix words.
Yeah, there was no fluff. There was
alpha footage. Blah blah blah. That was the game,
rug
and that's
pull.
what you got.
Like, people didn't believe the game was real for a long time too.
No, people
thought this shit was vaporware.
I believed it was real because I didn't think it looked.
There was literally people on YouTube saying this was vaporware. This was never going to come out. This wasn't going to be a real game. And then eventually it started looking like, it's actually going to be real. And I think
it turned out to be one of the biggest games of last year.
Yeah, and not even just counting like the sales and Chinese versus Western sales. The game is just fucking really well made. And again, in the thread, someone was saying that it wasn't optimized, but then they said that they didn't even play the game. They just listened to what other people said, which is kind of like that could have been true. They do day one patches and stuff like that. Cyberpunk 2077, a game that's on this fucking list, suffered massively from a shitty launch. So, these massive games, and then like Kai said, this game needs to have things factored in. It's not an established IP. It's a brand new IP, brand new developer. All these mitigating factors, I think, need to be taken into consideration. Larian
and again,
definitely deserves credit too. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So, I'm not trying to step on your toes, but like to build on you again, when you're talking about like cultural stuff again, you say I don't give a shit about Chinese, like, which obviously you're joking.
That was a joke.
But this does actually, again, like I said, it has a cultural crossing.
Well, I didn't mean culture in the literal sense.
Well, I do, because it does that. So again, you cannot say that Baldur's Gate 3 is a bad game. It's a very good game. It's a very well made game, and it's crazy of how much they put into it and like all the different choices you have. And playing that game made me want to learn more about just D&D in general, like all the lore and stuff. Like, that's how much of an impact of that game was to me. But for me personally, on a different level, I just feel like Black Myth Wukong hit on a different level. Just for a lot of different things. Again, like just mostly on that cultural side of where it's crossing paths and coming more into the West. And again, telling one of the oldest stories in the world in a completely different and new and creative way. I mean, that deserves.
The opening cutscene in that game is fucking amazing. Can I just say that?
It's insane.
That opening cutscene in that game is fucking.
I've seen it, and I've seen the opening cutscene of Baldur's Gate, and I think the Baldur's Gate opening cutscene is infinitely better.
I was a little confused.
Well, maybe not infinitely better, but better. You were a little confused.
I was like,
what were you confused
am
about?
I on a fucking alien spaceship? Like, what is
you
happening?
You are.
I mean, I came to terms with it, but I was like, it's not where I thought I would be immediately on joining that
has
game.
a very weird lore where things are all mixed together,
and you learn about it. I mean, you're supposed to be a little like discombobulated, and then you learn.
Yeah,
that's the whole point.
Not that it was a bad thing. I'm not saying it was just a little,
But if we're talking about opening cutscene spectacle, I mean, that was a pretty impressive cutscene. But it's looking like for now we need to put Baldur's Gate and Wukong just neck and neck for the 1 and 2, and then sort out the rest of this list. Is what it sounded like.
I think we need to go on to some others because those two games are probably going to be the 1 or 2 spot.
Yeah, so because I'm not going to go to battle for any of these.
I don't know.
Like I will Baldur's Gate.
So I will just go ahead and throw this out here. I think Elden Ring should be 3.
I was going to say
I agree.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to argue with that because I was going to say it should stay at 2, but if you guys want to peg it down a notch, then that's fine.
It's not that like it's like any lesser. It's definitely
it's just
like
so mainstream, broke the fourth wall shit. Even wrestlers play Elden Ring for 6
Oh no, it's our personal list. My personal list, I put Elden Ring any of this other than Baldur's Gate. So I mean, it's our personal, and we're trying to kind of combine it into shared, podcast list. So
I'm fine with it being.
There's a reason, there's a reason why it was so popular. Yeah, it's because it's that fucking good. I mean, it's not like it's Fortnite and trash.
I won't argue.
It's somehow popular.
Well, objectively, I would argue that Fortnite is still a good game because people play it.
It is good.
Just like Squirrel with a fucking gun is a good game by that same logic.
Man, it's number 10 on our list. Shout out.
Yeah, but Elden Ring though, it's crazy of like how accessible that game is for being a Soulsborne. So yeah, but I think we're good on that for 3. Dang.
I think we need to get some of this low-hanging fruit out of the way.
Yeah.
So Eastward is going to be somewhere down the list. We're going to put Eastward at 9 for now.
Cool.
Yeah.
Unicorn Overlord.
Could we put it at 9? Just because I never.
For now, I'm okay with it being at 9.
And all 3 of those games,
The Squirrel with a Gun is already at 10. So
that
can't go any lower than that right now. Let's leave Eastward at 9.
Lower. That's why I said 9.
Yeah. That's fine.
Fantastic.
I feel like Cyberpunk probably doesn't deserve to be in 4. We have to obviously consider.
No, I'm okay.
Let's make it mid-tier and put that at 5.
I'm okay with that.
I think that's fine.
I'm okay with it being at 5.
I don't honestly know where Hitman can go. So that's something you guys are going to have to talk about.
I think
that one I'm not too sure. I haven't really played a whole lot of the newer hit games.
I'm okay with Hitman being lower. I think that that was almost my honorable mention in a way, but I think it's better than a lot of stuff on this list. But I'm okay for the sake of compromise. I'm okay with putting it at like 8 or 7. Because I know Octopath and Unicorn I think belong fairly high on the list. I would put Stellar Blade at like 10 just because I don't like those games.
All my games are just 10s, guys. I have really bad taste.
I think Stellar Blade can fit in 7.
Okay, we'll tentatively put it there. We'll put it. We can move it around. We're getting an initial.
It should be a little bit higher, but
it probably could be. I'm not sold. I'm not sold. I'm just putting these here. These aren't final.
Initial. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is just kind of a recalibration here.
Listen,
I'm having a hard time.
I will say this.
I'm gonna put Unicorn and Octopath myself.
Yeah, I will say this about Cyberpunk because of its shitty fucking launch and my own consternation about it. You can put it wherever you want, except for 10.
It doesn't deserve the 10th spot.
Yeah, I feel like Cyberpunk we already have that dedicated. Almost anywhere except for last place, kind of, because it's just it's a great comeback story. But at the same time,
it's a phenomenal game. But it
do you
had
move that further down to 6 instead of 5.
You can pop it if you want to put. Yeah, if you want to pop it down, and you can. That's fine.
I don't like it's higher than Stellar Blade, but
I'm over. I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be. Or I become very unreasonable.
this list is starting to look a lot more reasonable to me. I'm still having an issue with as much like. It's really hard for me, but I'm gonna have to put Unicorn Overlord further down the list, even though
I like Octopath at 4. I like Octopath is people really love some Octopath.
If you're gonna back that, I can back that too. I really they kind of are interchangeable to me, but they mean totally different things to me. So
yeah, I think really Octopath is one of those like it's like the equivalent of like an Oscar game, you know, like where it's very like prestigious and people love it, and I'm okay with it at 4.
I'm okay with it at 4 too.
How do you feel about this guy? I mean,
I mean, I'm a little biased.
I'm trying to get Celebrate Blade higher, dude. I just got you from 7 to 5.
I feel like Stellar Blade should be like at the number 4 spot. It's a new breakout title, brand new IP, brand new developer.
If you wanna negotiate with Cicada on that.
Copies. So I mean, that's
you're gonna on that. I mean, I've already given you lots of favor on some of these.
Yeah, I know. I'm just giving up my arguments.
Yeah, if you want to negotiate with Cicada,
if you want to exhaust, the favor, then I might have to, move my opinions on the top spot, but
Oh damn!
Right. No, and I get that.
Damn. So that's not hard negotiating,
right? Well, and then
because I did get Celebrate from 7 to 5. Just saying,
right? You did, and honestly, like right now where we're at, you can go ahead and just move Fire Emblem down to 7. Let's just do that, I guess. Or it could be interchangeable with Hitman.
Well, we don't have Fire Emblem. You mean
Fire Emblem's not here?
I mean, wait. Oh shit! I'm sorry. I looked at that.
Fire Emblem got cut.
Unicorn. Yeah, Fire Emblem is in the grave. R.I.P.
So, I don't know. So,
to be honest, whatever one from the top spot pushes all this shit down. Because really, I mean, the only thing.
Are we putting Unicorn over Elden Ring?
Yeah,
I don't think so. I think we could. I was just gonna say. I think we could probably move Elden Ring to 2 because that's where I thought it originally should have been.
Mm-hmm. I still think it's good at the spot.
But if we move Elden Ring to 2, then I'm probably more willing to move one of the other ones down or swapping it out for another spot. But I would like for either Octopath or for Unicorn to at least be in 3. So,
well,
so we can switch. Switch this for this.
I mean, that means either Wukong or Baldur's Gate goes to like 4 or 3, and I don't.
Well, no. The way I'm looking at it is Elden Ring is gonna end back up in 3.
Oh, okay.
The way this list is essentially this is the stack, and then
he's gonna push it
whatever
down.
one.
Would you put Unicorn over Octopath? I mean, it's your list.
No, I would actually not, to be honest.
Yeah, because I personally, it's your list. But I think Octopath probably.
Octopath is definitely more premium of a game than Unicorn.
That's how I feel about it.
A little bit more indie, but it's not really a mark against it. It's just it doesn't feel like a very premium game. It feels almost a little bit like a mobile style game. But it's still really great, and it's obviously everything's there. There's no DLC. It's no gacha mechanics, so it's a full complete game. But yeah, so
okay.
I definitely think Octopath should probably be a peg up.
Okay.
So really, it's going to come down to Baldur's Gate and Wukong, and honestly, I have opinions. So but I'll let you guys fight it out first.
Well, yeah, we need to sort out the rest of this kind of bottom part of the list here. I mean,
yeah.
Because, I mean, really, that's going to get all bumped down. And so Cyberpunk could be at 7, which, again, I'm okay with. Again, like
I think everything has to be bumped.
Yeah, my bottom 2 picks, I accepted. I thought Hitman might get cut, honestly, till I saw
I'm
some
surprised
of the other
it didn't
games.
get sniped.
But, I'm happy that all my games are on the list. So, you know. So I'm good with the bottom two being.
You also pick
wherever,
very safe, like industry, top games. So, because there's also games here that you guys picked that I would have picked too, but I knew you guys were gonna pick them, so I wanted to pick games.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
I gotta go with
curveballs.
Yeah, there were other ones I considered, but I thought about like a lot of them I just wouldn't even care to fight for, and that just doesn't make for fun. Or I'm like, I don't know, guys, put my games like Age of Wonders 4. Like that's probably one of my games of the gym, but like what I'm not gonna fight for that against some of this other stuff. I'm not gonna try to convince you that Age of Wonders beats Baldur's Gate or beats
or that
Octopath.
40K
like
game.
Or 40K, yeah, Space Marine. Yeah, Space Marine. Oh yeah. There's the Warhammer one too, but Space Marine, was on that
we didn't
list.
Even put Space Marine on. I didn't even get the chance to really play it. That's another game I wanted to co-op with everybody.
Yeah, there's some good ones. Helldivers might have made the. There's a lot of
Helldivers, man. So many chose games. The ones. We're so blessed.
Yeah, I chose the ones that because I mean this is kind of one big commentary on the generation. I think it's been a pretty good one so far.
I do too. People complaining have way too much fucking time in their hands.
Yeah, but I chose the ones that I knew I could go to bat for. So, but yeah, I'm good with moving those two down. If you want to put some of these, I feel like with this
list, like everyone, if we wasn't just me and you two, everyone would probably, especially in our spheres of influence, would probably agree that Baldur's Gate. I know, like even on the server, like if the spotters had probably say if like we put it up to a poll to break this stalemate, I feel like Baldur's Gate would win.
It absolutely would.
Yeah,
based on the early polling.
But I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair.
I think it's perfectly fair.
I don't think it's fair because I also believe that Wukong was heavily got unfair and undue criticism from Western journalism. And
it got a lot of smear for like no reason.
It got smeared,
and all because of like what it seemed like was just because they didn't want to work with a consultation group, so they did that.
Yeah, this all ties back.
Times. Yeah, they proved plenty of times
to the golden cow.
That what was like translated from this person was incorrect and all of that, but they didn't take down the article from all these other major like outlets and everything.
I remember
these are the same outlets are like, oh, Stellar Blade's so misogynistic and blah, 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 blah. 6 months later, oh, we love Stellar Blade and how empowering it is for feminism. You guys can go fuck yourselves. You're stupid. You should have liked it when it first came out, but you had to make your whole fucking stink about like, oh, this woman doesn't have agency over her body because she's a video game character. Anyway, sorry. There was those arguments for Stellar Blade, and then Black Myth got a little bit hit too. And again, just like I said, I feel like
it's kind of funny because you're right. You're 100% right. I actually witnessed this, and you were, especially when it came to Stellar Blade and Wukong, I kind of like got to peek through the lens of like what you were seeing as those games were coming out, and just seeing like ridiculous like hit pieces on these games.
Yep, for no reason.
And then you play these games, and they're like, these games are great. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So I do think there's a little something sinister going on there for sure.
Yeah, there was all of that, but I mean, they both still sold really well, and a lot of people got a really great reception, which is great. But my main thing is for Wukong here, because again, like I said, it's a brand new IP, brand new studio. It's actually a Chinese studio, which I mean, there's plenty of Chinese developers, but like they made like not a gacha
Eastward
game.
Eastward 2 was Chinese, was 3 Chinese guys, so
a
lot of stuff coming out of China.
Okay. Right. But yeah, again, I just feel like there's a more cultural impact for Black Myth Wukong than compared to
Dragon Ball Z is based on Journey to the West.
Yep, sure is.
So many other stories.
So,
Villain doesn't give two shits about any of these arguments. Nothing will change his mind.
No, because Baldur's Gate.
Well, like I just think I just think the game looks like shit. Like honestly, like it's just not my kind of game. And in the greater argument for like, I mean, I accept people like it, but in the greater argument for Baldur's Gate, I think there's just more there for more types of people. I think you can play multiple characters. There's co-op.
Yeah, they're not 1-to-1, definitely.
I think that there's I think that just when you're thinking of like an overall package, right? I think Baldur's Gate, it just offers more. Whereas Wukong, I mean, listen, I'll give it a shot at some point because y'all have really argued for it. And when it's on sale one day, I'll pick it up. I just looking, and maybe I'll be surprised. I hope I am, because I would hate to spend money on something and not like it. But
I mean,
it's just not my Stellar Blade's not my kind of game either.
3 times.
Like, yeah, like just kind of that like linear action game where you're kind of just it's just not really my cup of tea.
It's a good formula though. What's wrong with that formula?
And actually, we all have those games aren't completely linear. Like Wukong is more linear than Stellar Blade, but Stellar Blade actually has some really big open areas to go explore. So
okay, well, it's just but it's just the character action. We all have genres we like. It's like Civ, but I'll stay up till 4 a.m. playing Civ, right? Like it's just genres that people like and don't like. We don't like, and I'm glad I don't like every genre because I'd be more broke and have less time.
Yep.
You got to make cuts in your time, and
I'm not usually a Dark Souls fan either, and like the fact that I liked Wukong, I really tried to. Like the thing was, Wukong did something different than like I've never played Souls-like games before, and Wukong, and I know Wukong's not a 1-to-1, but it did something to me, man.
I've heard
that
it's
gameplay
not a
loop was
Souls-like,
fucking
but
it's not necessarily a Souls-like.
Yeah.
It is an action RPG with Souls-like elements to it, with the story and some of how it's
a little bit of
world
Souls-like elements sprinkled about.
Oh yeah, when we were talking about, I also had to cut metaphor too.
I was surprised.
That's crazy. Yeah, I was actually very surprised by that. Actually,
I'm gonna tell you what, it was that last like 4 hours of that game that killed
That's
it for
crazy
me.
that
for me.
They
lost me in the last. I mean, like it's still fantastic. I think it's phenomenal, but like those last really it was like 10 hours. Like those last 10 hours of that game, I was begging for death. I was begging for it to be over.
That's crazy. It's like
because I already it was such a like you already, by the time you get to that point where there's 10 hours left in the game, you already know you already know everything. So you're just waiting for it to peter out into the ending because there's no surprises after that. And it took like 10 hours. So
yeah, I honestly I didn't get to it. I got like close to the end of that game. I put 80 hours into it. But I wasn't at the end when I thought I was. So when you told me and I was like, kind of makes me not want to end it now or go play it now.
Yeah, the ending. I think the ending of that is written. It knocked it off the list. I considered when I thought very deeply about this list. And I couldn't put it over Cyberpunk. That's how good Cyberpunk is as a game for me anyway. It spoke to me a lot. I think the writing in Cyberpunk is also infinitely better than Metaphor.
Yeah, I bought Cyberpunk based on your recommendation, to be honest. So.
Yeah, but so that's just where I'm at with it. Like I said, I think that when we get down to the nitty gritty, I think Baldur's Gate is just an all around.
I do get where Villain's coming from with just like.
I think Wukong it's more niche.
Appealability. Anyone can kind of get into the world of Baldur's Gate, but then again, Wukong is more kind of tapping into like an old story, good storytelling.
My concession here in this whole thing is, and it's a big one, is not arguing that Elden Ring also beats Wukong, because if we're the battle of the Souls likes, I mean, Elden Ring destroys everything around it. So I mean, but I'm good with Wukong for the concession, for the brotherhood and the coming together. I'm good having it above Elden Ring. So
Wukong got me to play it. Elden Ring, with all of its fanfare, I still never ever installed it on any system I have. So
yeah,
it's not for everybody. I mean, it's
and again, like we just established too, Wukong is not a Souls-like. It's an action game.
Yeah,
it's a
and that's why
action game. So
that's why I kind of like Wukong got me, but Elden Ring didn't, because it's not really a Souls-like game.
Yeah, and I think it's a bit more approachable. Although Elden Ring is the most accessible Souls-like game, or Soulsborne game rather, from Software.
But you can't pause it, right? That was like one Twitter thread I saw where you can't pause in Elden Ring.
What?
You can't what? I'm sorry.
You pause the game, like you can't pause.
Oh, pause. Yeah. You can't pause Elden Ring. It's just like,
it's like crazy. Because like that's like I think like I know, but I think like it's like some kind of like ADA requirement or something like that. People were complaining about it on Twitter or something. It was funny.
Yeah, no, there's actually been like some argument videos about like you can actually pause a Dark Souls or Elden Ring game and be fine.
You could pause anything on a PS5 or an Xbox by just going to the system menu. It does like an automatic suspend of the game, saves it into memory.
Yeah.
So yeah, the arguments are kind of ridiculous, but
okay,
people argue about anything.
If we're talking about accessibility, Elden Ring's platinum or average completion is 55%. And Wukong's is 42%.
That's actually not as bad as I thought in terms of, well, considering Elden Ring has a much higher.
But it's a waste of argument because I'm not a much higher player base. It would imply that the percentage goes down, right? Because you have a higher like fall percentage is higher.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
That's why Game Pass. That's why like Game Pass trophies or achievements are so much. The percentages are so much lower because you have a higher volume and that you have more fall off.
Yeah.
So you would see higher percentages, and a smaller player base. Yeah.
It's just the thing about Wukong that I've heard from a lot of people is that like that first Buddha that you fight in the game isn't a necessary boss. It's an optional boss, and people didn't realize that in that game. That actually fucked that game up because a lot of people returned it after not being
Elden Ring has one of those though. They have the horse, the guy on the horse. They have that dude will you're not gonna beat him. Like no, but this is a pointless argument because I'm okay with it beating Elden Ring on this list. I was just saying that if I could argue it is what I'm saying, and I'm not above making concessions.
I don't know, right? Man. Well, this is a World War I trench warfare situation here.
It is.
This is a toughie. I mean, to be honest, I don't think Villain and I are going to be able to. we're pretty firm in our stance on this. Yeah,
we'll have to meet in a field somewhere, and
you're gonna have to be a tiebreaker or it could be chat, but it's up to you.
I really feel like it should kind of be delegated to chat, but I think that will automatically give Baldur's Gate the upper hand. If I break the tie, then that gives Wukong the upper hand. So
so I mean,
can we trust someone to flip a coin?
That would be fair. I have a quarter. I have a quarter right here.
Well, yeah, but we can't see you
because I go to Aldi, so I have quarters.
I don't have coins. I can flip an AirPod case.
All right, hold on. I got coin.
Yeah, I got some.
Oh shit! I can't believe this is coming down. Oh, roll a dice.
I have dice too right here.
Hilarious.
I do have dice too. I have a lucky.
I can't believe this is coming down to a coin flip. This is hilarious.
It's gotta. No one's gonna agree.
So, who wants to call the flip?
I'll let you guys. I have terrible luck with these things, so I'm gonna let someone else call the flip. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go Tells. I'm gonna go Tells. Give me Tells.
Right.
Tells wins. Tells wins Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate 3 is Tells.
I want to see your hand at all times on the camera. Do not. Okay, at all times.
All times.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tells Baldur's Gate, heads Wukong.
Okay, all right. I can't see it. Is that Tells?
It's
Tells. Let's go.
It's Tells.
Let's go.
All right. That's it.
All right.
It's decided. Everyone's getting
more hoes in the chat as well.
But
man, it couldn't fucking Wukong couldn't even win in our own list. Fucking got fucked at the fucking Game Awards.
I'm happy with this outcome. The Game Awards, they can go fuck themselves.
True.
I think regardless of the order,
I was gonna troll and put Final Fantasy VII Remake on here, but that
would have been hilarious. I would have fought for number one. I would have fought for number one for that.
Yeah. My stress level is already too high.
I would couldn't have put Remake on there because it came out in 2020, but you could have put Rebirth though. Unfortunately,
I would have fought Rebirth number 1 just to troll Kai, just to troll Kai.
Oh god, I hate that game so much.
I had like a split second to be like, should I just like throw this whole thing by putting troll shit in there and making this chaotic? And then I was like,
that's hilarious.
I don't know, man. It's too unpredictable. Shit might just go crazy. It might go south. So
I think that no matter what way
you already think I'm hurling personal insults at you for liking Squirrel with a Gun. So I'm glad I didn't do that. Jeez.
Regardless of how you look at this, though, this is a great list. This is a fucking fantastic list of shit.
I do. Like, I'm not mad at this. I'm not mad.
If you sat down and just played this list of games, like you'd be set for the whole fucking year. Like you'd be set for the whole fucking year. So I think this worked out well. It went exactly how I thought it would. I didn't think it would end. I didn't think it would end.
Eastward actually made it. I'm actually really happy because I really liked Eastward. It's a hard game to explain, but it's a very cool little game.
That's why I was like, I kind of thought maybe Eastward when we were talking about like cuts, because I looked at the trailer. I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm taking a look at, but yeah,
play the game.
I think
it's very hard to explain, but it captures a specific type of feeling and vibe.
I got you. Okay,
80s retro. Synth, pixel graphics, dystopian future. If you like Mother, or if you like Earthbound, and you like Zelda, theory,
I haven't played Earthbound.
This is like you never played Earthbound.
Never played Mother.
Oh,
never played Mother 1.
Do you know of like the aesthetic?
Yeah, I'm familiar.
There's like a Mother. Yeah, there's like a Mother / Earthbound style / aesthetic. If Zelda and Earthbound had a baby, this would be the game. Essentially,
it didn't decimate. Blowing things up over out of proportion. It decimated. We had to stay here for like 20 minutes and argue which would be first.
We won the dice roll. Hey, y'all, you mind your business. Mind your business.
See, I knew Bose.
We're celebrating in the chat our victory.
It should have been a die roll, but yeah, either way, it's ironic. I knew if we left it to the chat anyway, this outcome would have been the same.
But still, I'm happy with Wukong at least made second, and Stellar Blade's mid tier because it kind of is. Although I still like the game a lot. Mostly with that game, it's like the story makes it kind of mid, but the music's fantastic in it. Holy shit!
I heard it. I've heard good things about the music and the production and stuff like. It's just not my style of game, and that's fine. Not everything has to be,
right.
Of course. I can't go to bat for it because I just
It's fun. Like the pairing system of that game is really, really fun.
Yeah. Like I thought Cicada made a lot of strong picks too. Like I like Unicorn Overlord a lot.
Unicorn Overlord's so good. These are the games though that I play. I don't usually play what everyone else is playing. That's always that's like.
Yeah, and whenever we were kind of meeting for a minute on our own, Dylan and I were both like, yeah, it's gonna be like some Nintendo shit.
It was.
I did have some Nintendo shit. I'd have Zero. I'll even show you what I had. So I had Mario Party Jamboree on there. I had F-Zero 99 on there as well, and I also had Live Alive on there. But Live Alive was a remake of a game, even though it technically came out in 2022. I felt like it was more of an honorable mention than it actually would have been deserving of the list. But it's a fucking amazing game. I highly recommend you guys check out that game too.
I had Satisfactory on my short list. I was kind of a
Metaphor
weird
we talked about. Yeah,
Metaphor, Space
Marine. Yep.
Helldivers.
You guys thought about a lot more games than I did. I was like, I gotta get 4. And the first 4 that popped in my brain, I went with.
Another one that almost made the cut for me, an obscure, is Banishers: Ghost of New Eden. I love that game. That game was awesome. So that one almost made the cut too. Again, there was a lot of hard.
About Wukong applies to BG310 full. Damn, you got a big fan in there. You and Bose.
That's my boy. Bose before Hose. That's my boy.
Did you see the clip? Did you see when Bose was on the raid train? Bose is a dude. But yeah,
okay,
when
cool.
Bose was,
I didn't know. I didn't want to assume.
But the clip that I have from Bose's stream, I think it was a female doing the comms in New World, and they were doing a big PvP map or whatever, and it was really fucking cool. I really liked it.
Nice.
I posted that clip in the server. You should check it out.
That's awesome.
But yeah, they're big into Baldur. They're D&D, Baldur's Gate, all that shit. Bose is all into that. So.
And since we can't do polls, we'll just have to go with the votes.
We gotta monetize the channel for next time.
The the community game of the generation is Fortnite.
Fortnite.
Followed by an equal tie between Baldur's Gate and Marvel Rivals.
Rivals got a lot of love from the community too. So.
I saw probably equal support
for us now is just Rivals anyway. So.
Yeah,
Rivals still has a lot of that, new car smell going on. So
yeah, I saw equal support for Baldur's Gate and Rivals, I think, in the stuff I was reading through. But Fortnite by far it was insane how far Fortnite got in all those mentions.
He even got like Twitter votes for Fortnite.
A lot of people
we got
main
Twitter
Fortnite.
votes.
Fortnite is a very popular game. There's no
I think people in some way probably thought of it more of like a general impact thing and less of like maybe their personal favorites.
Right.
I think they maybe thought of like, well, this is like the most impactful, like this is the one that people do the most type thing, which is fine. That's certainly a way to look at it for sure. We took a more like personal touch with it for our list, but
Fortnite, came out 2017.
I find it hard to believe that Fortnite is like anyone's favorite game. I think it's just something people play, to kind of.
It is though. It is people.
You know what I mean?
Game.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of people's favorite game. Like, I mean, dude, this is what's turned me off the most about it, and I guess it's just kind of like how internet culture is, though. It's just like most people who I want to like support for like streaming and stuff, they're all playing Fortnite. Everyone plays fucking Fortnite. And I'm like, oh, Fortnite, cool.
But is that because it sells, or is that because it what I mean? I don't know. I've just never met anyone Fortnite. I've met people who play it a lot, but they'll never be like, this is my favorite game. They'll be my favorite game's like or something like that, but they play Fortnite endless. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, that's what the community wanted, and that's
if it's your favorite game.
We are here to serve the people,
That is right.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, like, Fortnite's just an easy game to pick up and put down. A lot of people, it's easy for streaming because they don't have to invest in time into it. They don't have to worry about taking a 5-day break. If you're playing a game like, Elden Ring, Wukong, that's like you got to commit to that shit. And you got to see it from start to finish. Yeah. Otherwise, your content kind of looks choppy and inconsistent. So if you're gonna do a whole playthrough of a game, you gotta go all in. Whereas Fortnite, easy to just fucking pop in, pop out, do a couple of matches, 3 hours go by, stream's done. So
that could really be said about any multiplayer game, honestly.
Yeah, and that's why Rivals is also doing well right now. It's just it's just a good live service game that just is maintaining and constantly putting out new content. Fucking when they put Godzilla in Fortnite, of course I played that shit. Are you kidding me? Fucking, I ran to that portal like fucking, I ran for my life. I ran for my life trying to get to that portal, and then as soon as I became Godzilla, I'm running around like a fucking kid again, just, obliterating the whole map, using my atomic fire breath, stepping on people. It's hard to not recognize, like, the monumental impact that game has. I've spent probably hundreds and hundreds of dollars in Fortnite and skins, battle passes, the whole kit and caboodle. So
you and like 20 many other people.
Yeah, it makes a lot of fucking money. I mean, it's you can't argue with that.
It makes so much money that Epic doesn't make any actual games anymore. They just focus on Fortnite.
Well, I mean, as a business, you can't blame them.
Primary. You can't. That's why it's taking like 12 years for fucking GTA 6 to come out, other than they were developing Red Dead Redemption 2. Because GTA Online just prints the money.
Yeah, it's true. It's definitely true. These business. I also think that just game development in general is just getting exponentially harder. there's
it depends on
a lot more to it,
and how big their teams are and how focused on what you're actually focused on, actually developing a game or making something to make you money. That's a big part of it. but yeah, we're done with the list here.
We
time hanging out with everybody.
Yeah, and we're clocking in over a little.
Yeah,
over
we're right
3
at
hours
3.
now.
Yeah, we really hashed that out. So but yeah, I guess we'll start bringing this thing to a close.
Running time there.
Just some little podcast housekeeping before we close out. We're definitely going to be looking to do some more community, integrated stuff. I like this one a whole lot. We might do something similar. There's all kinds of lists we can do, and stuff like that. So, and also we're going to have some scheduling stuff that we're probably going to be announcing at some point. Some changes there. We just got to hash out some of the deets. And so we'll pass it over to Kai real quick. Where can people find you, man? And what are you going to be up to?
Yeah, I mean, you can find me on all socials, just at Kainetsu, except TikTok. Someone took my name. My name is at Kainetsu01 on TikTok.
At least it's not XX.
Yeah. Oh God. Just like back in the 2000s. Oh, my name's XX. Blah blah. Anyway, yeah. Right now, I'm kind of taking a back seat on content creation just for some personal things going on in my life. So I'm focusing on a lot of other things at the moment, but I will be around for the podcast as usual. But yeah, other than that, that's me.
Nice. All right. And Cicada, what about you, man? What you gonna be up to this week?
I'm just constantly just trying to get new things done. You guys can find me. Well, obviously, the next couple weeks probably gonna be gearing up for Nintendo Switch 2 things because that Direct is gonna be coming up in the beginning of April. So looking forward to that. But yeah, where to find me.
We'll probably have a whole episode for that.
Yeah, we're probably gonna need that.
It's too big not to.
Primary way to get to talk to me is either through Discord or on my X/Twitter, Cicada Prime on all socials. So, and occasionally do stream on Twitch. So if you want to catch me out on there, that's cool too. So yeah, that's it.
Nice. And I am True Villain on Twitch, where you will find me probably playing a crap ton of Monster Hunter over the next week or so. But that's it for us, I guess. So we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for coming out, voting, watching us argue, all that good stuff. So Baldur's Gate 1, of course it did. We beat them. We beat Wukong, everyone. We beat them. Have a good night. Bye.
Spot 'em gang, we rollin' deep, digital streets, gifted subs, bitch, raining heavy like beast. Got that Twitch game locked, homies reaching elite. Shout out